Participants build position in the futures not for just 2-3% rally, but they want to play positional and hence they build positions in futures. Future rollover and tracking the starting open interest for the new expiry is one way to find what big people are doing and how are they positioned in the stock. And this is not just helpful for the futures trader, but it is extremely important for the cash traders as well, because this typically leads to a trending move. And normally when you have the setups where there is a huge short built up, it typically leads to a rally of somewhere around 3 to 6 months of a short covering rally. So guys who are dealing with cash might also find it extremely helpful. So do watch out this webinar.
Guys, Jay, can you confirm if I'm audible?
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is having a great Saturday and a great weekend. So, why we are gathered here is for today's webinar on future rollover trends. Okay, so we will be doing a deep discussion on rollovers, how to focus on early positioning data, and also to identify those interesting setups. So, what is this webinar? This webinar is dedicated to helping you analyze market data, understand what is the underlying positions that drives this price action. Okay, so we have to understand how the open interest dynamics works. Okay, what are the four positioning phases that we have for open interest, as well as how do I combine this OI along with price action to at least find interesting setups, make the right decisions, make the right analysis. And to teach you all this, we have Jay Vora. Jay, are you there?
Yeah, hi.
Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
I hope I am audible.
you are audible, but I'm unable to see you.
Yeah, I've
Oh,
just on.
okay, now I'm unable to say. Is it possible to just increase your volume a little bit more?
Wait, actually, I had already done that setting.
Mm. No, it is pretty much clear, but if it is possible to
Okay,
just.
I'll try to speak a little louder.
Okay, okay, fine. Yeah. So I'm just letting you go over this and you can tell we have around 40, 45 to 50 people who are there. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can take over, Jay.
Okay, sure. So, firstly, I just want to, show the people how to sign up, because, many of the people might be new over here. So in case, you all have not made an account to web.strike.money, all you have to do is that, wait, yeah, I'll just sign out. Okay. So over here, there is an option called as sign up now. Okay. Once you click over here, you can fill in all your details and you will end up getting a 7-day free trial. Okay. So please do open your account to take the benefit of all the data that we have put into the strike. And there are many focus strategies that we have also discussed, which is what you will able to see it in the help section. So let me just quickly show you that. So in the help section, there are some focus strategies that we have shared, which we feel that are good setups and they work pretty well from medium to long term perspective. In fact, there are many short term setups as well that has been discussed in Strike OI Insights. And to be very specific, in rollover, largely we end up getting some good medium term supports, and I'll explain you how to find them out. But yeah, I mean, this webinar will be very helpful for the people who are doing in cash, or even if they are doing it in futures, they have a slightly more positional view wherein the stop losses and and the upside levels will be slightly bigger. But yes, I mean, I have just found out that it is very important to understand what is happening in the stock. Once you all are able to figure out that, so everything happens in a phases, right? So once you know that what phases now the stock is going to get into, then your life will become extremely easy. Now, see, this time I'll do slightly differently in this webinar. Basically, Rahul, we can unmute one person, and I'll note down all the questions that they have,
Okay.
because I have explained this concept quite some times now, and
Mhm.
I see there are many familiar faces as well. So for them it might end up becoming more repetitive. So I would request everyone to go to the Strike platform, okay, on YouTube. There are 3 to 4 videos that have been made of rollover. Uh, so Strike underscore IC. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So over here, if you go in this live, you search for rollover, okay, and you will end up getting many webinars over here. So the way that this time I think we should I would like to approach is that I will take up questions from y'all, like which are the specific questions that we want to discuss, and that I'll try to focus more while I am explaining. So of course there will be some basic understanding that I'll be sharing, but more than that, I'll try to focus more on the questions that people are having, or is it that there are some conceptual issues that are there. So I'll try to rectify that, and that's how. And later on, of course, we can speak about what are happening in the stocks and what are the trends that are visible. So that is how this webinar would go. I mean, that would be the flow. So, y'all can raise the question. I mean, y'all can raise the hand and question and ask the question one by one. But please make sure that you ask the question only related to futures rollover right now. There will be a Q&A after, this explanation. So at that point of time, if you'll have any other questions apart from rollover, we will take it up. Okay. So, yeah. And one more thing is that if you all want to have the quick access, then just go and help over here the rollover analysis. Finding the best setup for next series. I mean, this is a 20-minute video. This is essentially what is the conceptual thing that you all need to know. So you all can just even watch this, and you should be able to get a good idea. But yeah, so now for a while we will open the floor for the questions. I'll note down all your questions, and while explaining, I'll try to address all those questions.
Okay, you guys can just raise your hand if you have anything to add or if you need some clarity that Venjay is explaining.
Meanwhile, while people are doing that, we are running this exclusive offer for people who are attending the webinar. So, you can scan over here and you can get a 25% discount on the yearly plan. So, make the best of it. Uh,
Mm.
so, yeah, I'll just keep the screen open for you all in case if you all want to scan it.
I will also just put it in the chat if for anyone who's interested. But yeah, this is open until the webinar ends, so you can always do it after if you have any doubts or you want to get it clarity first before you go ahead. You can always get that done.
Sure. Yeah. So, fine, we'll take the questions one by one.
Yeah,
Deepak, yeah, you can unmute and you can ask your question.
Good
Deepak ji
morning.
is here.
Yeah, hi, good morning,
Yeah,
Deepak ji.
glad to see you again.
Yeah, fine, same here, same here.
Yeah. अच्छा अभी जो आपने आज फ्यूचर फ्यूचर का जो बात किया ना रोल ओवर का तो
Right.
मेरा मेन इंटरेस्ट है कि अभी जो कैश के अंदर जो चेंज ओवर हो रहा है ऑल टाइम हाई था जो 26,200 वाला और वी आर
Hmm.
जस्ट नियर टू द हाई ऑफ द निफ्टी
Hmm.
अबाउट 25,900 नाउ गोइंग टू बी हाफ अभी जो
Right.
अपना जो ये फ्यूचर का जो है वो कैश के अंदर हम कैसे एंटर करें कैसे डिसीजन ले और ऑल टाइम हाई के ऊपर अभी जो मार्केट जाएगा अबाउट 26,700 और 27,000 हाफ तो उसमें
Hmm.
हमको फ्यूचर का ये रोल ओवर का कैसे हमको इम्पेक्ट करेगा और कैसे हमको कैश मार्केट में कैसे डिसीजन लेगा हाउ इट विल बी
Hmm.
इफेक्टिंग
ठीक है.
इन द
How
कैश मार्केट
to interpret uh, futures data and take cash trips. Okay. ठीक है, मैंने ये नोट किया है। साई कुमार, हाँ सॉरी दीपक जी, इसके अलावा और कोई क्वेश्चन है?
नहीं, बस वो ये आज का टॉपिक के रिलेवेंट नहीं है, इसलिए मैं इसमें स्टॉप करता हूँ,
श्योर
क्योंकि
श्योर
वो
श्योर।
फिर बाद में आउट ऑफ द वे चला जाएगा।
राइट राइट राइट, वी विल टेक दैट लेटर आफ्टर दिस। या साई कुमार, यू कैन अनम्यूट। या
Yeah, good morning, Jay.
गुड मॉर्निंग।
Since this rollover option you had given very specifically in the futures, okay,
या
can you just make it more relevant? How, if we want to trade in futures, how to use this data? Because since you were very keen, particular about relevance to the cash market, no?
नो नो,
So
या हाँ, या आई मीन
you
इट
can
इज
just make a
रेलेवेंट फॉर
difference.
बोथ। या
You can make it a difference. How specifically we can
श्योर
categorize for the both of this thing,
श्योर।
and this early position also. How can we interpret data? Okay, sir.
ओके,
Okay, thank you very much
टू इंटरप्रेट,
for both cash market and
या
futures,
लिस्निंग डेटा,
and in relation to early positioning.
या ओके
Thank you.
श्योर। Yeah, hi Avinash Gupta. You can unmute and you can ask the question.
Hi, Jason.
Yeah, hi, good morning.
Good morning. My thing was like, I can use this concept like to take my position in the cash market itself, right?
Right, correct.
Like, let's suppose, on this setup, if Reliance is coming up, since Reliance is an FNO stock, so like,
Sure.
if this thing was working in there, so I can take
Hmm.
my position in cash.
Right.
That works then. It makes sense for me to attend this. I just had
Yeah.
to, yeah.
Yeah, so the whole idea, I mean, that is what I had mentioned in the start also. So, see, these are all things now which plays out in the medium term. Okay.
Okay, okay.
So the idea is that people can consume it the way they use it. Like for example, if I'm a short-term trader, for
Mm-hmm.
example, then I know that for this stock the medium-term trend could be up or down. For example, right?
Okay.
So then if I'm a trader, then I will just use early cycles on that stock, because now I know that this stock would be trending in a certain direction, right? So if
Yes.
it is trending on the upside, then I will just do buy sell, buy sell, buy sell,
Mm-hmm.
based on the signals that I'm getting on the hourly or daily, whatever is comfortable with you all, right?
This is
Now,
like bidirectional, right, sir?
no, not necessarily. It can be sell as well.
Yeah, bidirectional. Like I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. I
buying
mean,
and
yeah,
selling.
it
Yeah.
is directional basically. So in this rollover, see what happens is that when people are forming a position, okay, when
Mm-hmm.
big positions are being formed, they don't get formed because I mean they want to take benefit of 1 to 3%. Okay, they want
Okay.
to eat big, and that's why they end up, I mean, they position themselves in a certain way, and
Okay.
when those trend plays out, they play out for probably many weeks or even many months.
Mm-hmm.
So all we have to try and identify is that what is happening in that stock. Once you identify that, the main thing then is to do is try to find those buy signals on the lower time frame. Like for example, if you are a 1 to 5 day trader, for example, then
Mm-hmm.
you might just look at hourly chart, right? If you are a 2 to 3 week kind of guy or 3 to 4 weeks kind of guy, then you will focus on daily signals,
Daily signals, yes.
and that's how we do it. So that's how it can benefit everyone and for any time frame that you will have.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Palani Kumar, you can unmute and you can ask the question. I've sent you. Yeah.
Hey Jay, good morning, Jay.
Hi, good morning.
Everyone. Hey, I have a general question. Is
Yeah.
there any limit? For example, I have future and for hedging put option. Okay.
Okay.
For rollover, is there any limit? Suppose if I have some percentage of loss, so is there any limit for that percentage? So to rollover, or if more than some percentage, I can close the position for that particular month.
Is sorry, I did not understand your question. Sorry.
No
Can
problem.
you-
I will repeat. I will repeat. No problem.
Yeah.
See, I have a one stock with future, and
Okay.
put option.
Okay.
Currently, I have some loss.
Okay.
So before end of the month,
Okay.
for example, say 5% loss.
Right.
Okay. So I can roll over with 5%, or is there any limit? For example, if above 50%, I have to close the position,
No,
or
no.
still I can roll
So
over.
yeah, in such cases, basically, whatever is the trend of the stock, that is what it is. I mean, if so, I'm not sure if you have seen our earlier videos. It is, see, the setup that we usually follow is 20 period, 40 exponential period, and RMI, right? So
Okay.
over there, if the price action is telling us that the prices are below the averages, the RMI is in sell, then those are the setups where the price action is very weak and there can be some bearishness that is there, right? So
Okay.
in such cases, it's logical to get out of that position. But
Okay.
in your case, like you're saying, try to find how the setup is of the stock, which means that whether it is trending higher, not trending higher, if it has fallen big. So, I mean, to be very honest, there is no like a percentage which is denoted to whether you should exit a position or no. It all
Okay.
depends on the price action.
Okay.
So
So
whether
during this time, like, can you just show us that all those things, whatever you are talking about?
sure, can you tell me the stock? Maybe I'll try to be more specific on that stock itself.
Actually, I bought it a Hindustan Petroleum.
HPCL. Okay. HPCL.
So if you are okay, you do it right now. Otherwise, after your session
Yeah,
also,
yeah,
you
no.
just
So I am just trying to, understand all the questions, and while I am addressing, I'll try to address everything.
Okay.
Yeah. NCTG. Yeah. Sorry. Is there any other question that you have?
No, this is the
Okay.
only one.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. NCTG, you can ask your question.
Yeah, hi Jay.
Hi.
Thank you. You're doing a wonderful work in understanding the strike platform. Please
Thank.
continue doing that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, actually, I never thought the future and option or rollover will have effect on the cash, as I don't deal with any future option.
Right.
So
No. Yeah. But
I never thought they have a role to play, and so never looked at it or even watched those other webinars you just mentioned.
right. No, it works very well. I mean, when you see it, you will be surprised that, can we
Yeah,
find
so
such stocks? So
that's why I joined. So let's look into
sure,
this, and then maybe we'll have some questions. Thank you.
sure. Done. Rohit, you can unmute and you can ask the question.
Hey, hi.
Hi.
Uh, Sorry, I haven't seen the video which you mentioned, in the library. But I
Okay.
have one general question. Maybe I will get answer there, but still I'm asking.
Sure.
Can we figure it out from the rollover data? Like, for example, one stock is in high momentum, okay?
Right.
But I'm talking hypothetically, but if it has to move from 1 to 100, it is still at 50. We don't know that it's going at 100. But from
Right.
rollover data,
Yeah.
if it's 10, for example, 200 contracts were on. Now, during rollover, it became 300. We can figure it out. Ki, yeah, it's going further up now. People are showing aggressive. But
Right.
if the same stock has reached 100, that rollover contracts will move down, right?
Correct.
So that we can figure it out from the data which Strike
Yes.
is providing, right?
Yes.
Okay, I will figure it.
Yes, I'll discuss those things as well for you to understand.
Okay, great.
So it will be a lot more easier for you to understand.
Great.
Yeah. Dhaneshwar.
Yeah, hi Jay.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning. So Jay, I was asking, like, see, there are 3 months rollover, okay? Like next 3 months rollover data is available. So I want to understand, like, we should give more weightage to which month of rollover, next month or next to next month or third month.
So
And
I usually use combined. which is combining everything. So basically, rollover happens only for 2 months
Hmm.
because current वाला तो expire हो रहा है, right? तो next and next to next रहता है. That's it. And generally next to next में ना this rollover का I mean the contracts is very less. So typically 90% of your things will happen in next month only. मतलब say for example October का expiry is over, so lot of activity will happen in November का expiry only, right? They will shift their position in November का expiry because that will be more liquid. So in a sense, even if you look just 1 year, I mean 1 month next ka expiry na, it should be good. But I just have this habit of looking at both the expiries because sometimes there can be some erratic moves that we don't know, that people might be forming in December contract. I'm not sure why, but those all things get captured when you click on that combined OI.
Okay. And how you can rate it? Like how much percentage rollover we should consider?
No, so the
More.
beauty of this is that in early positioning, we don't look at percentage. We look at absolute contracts
Hmm.
because percentage sometimes can be very misleading, right? Say, for
Okay.
example, if earlier contract was 100,
Hmm.
right? Then it got down to 90.
Hmm.
Then again 100 has come.
Hmm.
So it will show you a 10% jump. But actual में तो कुछ हुआ ही नहीं है, right?
Hmm. So
So
how we can get this all data? Like last month में 10 per 90 contract थी, इस month में 100 हुए.
हाँ, so that is what is there in early positioning. Na? Have you seen that screen?
Yes,
In
I'm looking. Okay.
Yeah, in rollover na we
Hmm.
have this early positioning. यहाँ पे ना you get the trend of every start of the expiry open interest क्या होता है. तो
So
you
is the
understand कि इसका normally range इतना है और इस time इतना हो गया, and that's why we give a 12-month data to that.
अच्छा, तो इसमें पिछले महीने के भी दिखेंगे, लाइक मुझे
Yes,
I
yes,
have
yes. So you can see over here the December 24.
fine, fine.
एंड चार्ट में तो जाके पूरा ही हिस्ट्री दिखेगा उसका अगर है तो.
Okay, so you made the chart also for this
So
rollover data.
these are all special charts which is expiry to expiry, and the rollover is also expiry to expiry.
Okay, great. And can we combine this with the delivery data so that more accuracy would be there?
Uh, I don't know. I mean, I have found this only helpful. Maybe you can also combine it. I have honestly not tried it. मेरे को
Okay.
frankly चमका ही नहीं कि
Okay.
वो भी कर सकते हैं. But I think you can experiment with that as well. Maybe if that can give you insight. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Prakash, Kuntala Prakash, you can unmute and you can ask your question.
Yes, sir. Same. Janeshwar ji, majority of my queries has been asked by Mr. Janeshwar.
Okay.
Yeah, like that rollover data. Say for example, this is the October ending, no, right? Almost it's a November series. So
Right.
from when onwards we need to check that, like from October, say
No, so you
from
can see, we have given the trend for you to understand. Like, say, for example, I'm just giving you an example, okay? I mean, in a layman terms, ITC has a volume of, for example, 1 crore shares almost every day on an average. Suddenly,
yes, sir.
it becomes 10 crore, then the eyebrows will be raised, right?
Yes, sir.
That what is happening. So, similar thing
Mm.
you can catch up through this. So
All
what
right.
we have done is that for you to identify where there is a very big change in OI, there is a percentage that is given, right? But like I
Yeah,
mentioned, it can happen that say for example in one expiry the open interest was 100, in the second expiry it became 50, and then it again
yes.
came back to 100. So OI change will show 100%, but that might
All right.
not necessarily be true. So that is the reason why we have given trend for the last 12 months.
Okay, okay.
So sometimes there can be this whipsaws that you will see, but you will ignore those noise when you end up seeing the 12-month ka data.
Yeah, we can even consider that whipsaws, whatever you are saying, as a swing
Yes.
high, swing high, swing lows also.
Yes. So that should be like very easy. For example, I'll show you. I was checking one thing. Now you see this, okay? PFC. It shows 30% rise in OI, right? But you see
Yes,
the
sir.
normal average was only 576 over year. You can see 5 crore
Yeah,
76, 5 crore 70 lakh, and so on. So it has just come
correct,
back to normal.
correct,
So that way,
correct.
this is how the trend will help you.
So could you please check SBI, SBIN?
We can check that. Okay, I'll just quickly check it. But yeah, this is how the trend is. Okay, so in fact, there is a reduction in OI and there has been a rise in price.
Short covering, can we say that, sir?
Yeah, short covering, yes. So again, this will give you an overview. You will need to get inside the stock and find what is happening over there. I'll give you one example that I had seen last time also, where on the face of it, it was looking like it is a long built up, or it was a short built up or something like that, but it was actually a long built up. So
Okay,
that's where
okay.
you will have to get inside the stock and also see it. So we'll discuss that as well.
Fair enough, fair enough. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Kishore.
Hi, Jay, good morning. Actually, I'm attending this session for the first time and also seeing this early position screen for the first time. So, can
Okay.
you spend a few minutes how to interpret this? And
Yeah. I'll do that. It's just that वो जो full in depth में जो explanation था ना, those are all things that have been done over here. Okay, and
okay,
you will be able to see it over here as well. I'll try to focus more this time on the practical stuff, where
oh,
in this talk this is happening, this talk this is happening. So how to interpret it? So this will be so if you see this webinar plus the prior webinar, you should get a very good idea of that, because if I go to explain, it might take 45 minutes to 1 hour. I
okay,
mean, all the things in depth. I'll touch up on all the important points. Okay. And then
okay,
I'll try to explain it more through the stock this time. So that is what I thought I can do differently this time.
okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Dhaneshwari, do you have one more question?
Yeah.
Yes.
So with your experience, could you please help me to understand like when we should take the entry, because this it's yeah.
Yeah. I'll discuss that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Sandeep,
Yeah, Jay, hi, how are you?
hi. Good morning. Fine. How are you?
या मी फाइन। अच्छा जय, एक चीज बताइए।
हाँ.
जैसे कि हमारा ओपन इंटरेस्ट है, क्या हम इसमें ईएमआई ऐड कर सकते हैं?
ओपन
मैं
इंटरेस्ट के ऊपर नहीं कर सकते हो?
सर ओ इंडिकेटर में
नहीं कर सकते। वो मतलब वो ट्रेडिंग व्यू नहीं अलाउ कर रहा है हमें।
ओके।
विल हैव टू फाइंड सम वेज, आई डोंट नो।
एक्चुअली मैंने स्क्रिप्ट बनाई थी अपनी। सो
हाँ
3 मंथ का डाटा लेकर रोल ओवर कर रहा था उसको मैं। बट उसमें
हाँ।
लिमिट थी कुछ मेरी, बट हाँ इंटरेस्ट अच्छा, रिजल्ट अच्छा है उसका। इसी वी गेट लाइक ईएमआई 50, जैसे हम बेंचमार्क ले लेते हैं तो वी गेट
हम्म।
नीचे कहाँ तक जाएगा वो भाई?
हाँ करेक्ट, बट वो तो आपको ऐसे भी, हाँ मतलब खाली एक है कि आपको वो स्कैनिंग में शायद इजी हो जाएगा।
यस
मतलब
सर।
ओके, आई गॉट इट। बट वही है, मतलब हम लोग में प्रॉब्लम ये हो रहा है ना कि ट्रेडिंग व्यू इज ऑल्सो पुटिंग सम रिस्ट्रिक्शन टू अस। मतलब ये स्पेशल इंडिकेटर है, राइट, विच वी हैव बिल्ट। तो
यस।
इंडिकेटर पे इंडिकेटर नहीं डालने दे रहे हो।
ओके।
So, matlab, we will have to figure things out. I mean, I am sure there might be some solution to that, but I mean, right now there are some different priorities that we have. So we are just trying to
दैट्स
figure out
ओके,
that.
इट वाज जस्ट अ सजेशन। इट
Sure,
वाज
sure.
जस्ट
But noted, we will try to do that. We'll try to, because anyways, we have got many requests for the people कि ये जो हम जो रेशियो चार्ट जो बनाते हैं ना, तो वो रेशियो पे इंडिकेटर लगाने, राइट। मतलब
यस।
ये अभी सपोज इन्फी टू टीसीएस है, तो इस पे, तो जैसे आप बोल रहे हो कि वो मूविंग एवरेज लगाने का, राइट। तो ये जब क्रॉस ओवर देगा, मतलब नाउ द बुलिश मोमेंटम कैन कमिंग इन टीसीएस, राइट। दैट इज व्हाट इट वुड इंडिकेट। सो there is already this request that is there. तो अगर ये रिक्वेस्ट होगा तो वो सब में फिर अप्लाई हो जाएगा, because this is again a special indicator, right? That we
राइट।
have just put it.
बिकॉज
So
मैं जो
yeah,
खुद का बता रहा हूँ, तो मेरी लिमिटेशन ये है कि आई डोंट हैव अ डाटाबेस। मैं ट्रेडिंग व्यू से डाटा
right,
उठा रहा हूँ, तो बहुत
right,
कम्प्लेक्स हो जाता है। इवन आई कैन मेक आउट 20-25 ओनली। अब 26 के लिए आई हैव टू डू अगेन लॉट ऑफ चेंजेस। बट यू
right.
हैव प्लेटफॉर्म जिसके पास सारा डाटा है, सो आई वाज रिक्वेस्टिंग यू।
Sure, sure, sure. We'll definitely consider that. I mean, right now there are too many things on our plate, but we'll definitely do this at some point.
या थैंक यू।
Yeah, thanks. Bye. Yeah. Rohit, you have question? You can unmute. Rohit, I have asked you to unmute. Okay. Palani Kumar, do you have question?
Yeah, Jay, this percentage of OI change, that will be only future or including options also?
No. Only future. Only future.
Only future, no?
This whatever we'll be speaking about will be only futures.
Okay. And the screen you are showing now, the TCS bar Nifty, the down indicator.
Hello.
Yeah.
So that will come automatically when we open the stock?
No. That I have created. That was ratio chart that I had created. I mean, this is not
Okay.
anything to do with futures. I was
Okay.
just showing the other gentleman about how to do it.
Hello.
Yeah, Rohitji, 1 minute. I'll take up your question.
Sure.
1 minute. Yeah. So yeah, what was the question, Palani Kumar? Sorry, I
No,
did.
that indicator, how do we get it? And how to
So,
interpret that?
anyways, okay. So you just need to type two stocks for which you want to compare, and you will end up getting this line. So this was TCS to
Nifty.
Nifty
Okay.
50.
How to combine?
Just put the two symbols over there at the top. Just
Okay.
1 minute. So there are two options that you see over here, right? You just put over here TCS and then you put Nifty 50 and add a pair, and you will be able to get this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, Rohitji, you
Not
can
a
now.
problem. Not a problem. Acha, the same thing you mentioned a while back. Ki at
Hmm.
times you thought it was a short buildup, but actually it was a long buildup.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
My question was around the same line.
Right.
Like you were showing that rollover
Yeah.
data. No? So Supreme Industry was down 9%.
Correct.
And we can see that rollover data that future has increased. So at times I have noticed that
Yeah.
it is long.
Correct. So that is
Right?
why, see, you think of this now as a
Yeah.
monthly chart, right?
Yeah.
Just think of rollover, I mean, early positioning as monthly chart. Ultimately, you will have to go on the daily chart and verify those things.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But monthly chart will act as a scanner for you.
Okay. So there we can go and see the price action ki actually what happening over there.
Correct. मतलब इसमें मतलब you can say that 80 to 90% now whatever is there on the screen, that is what will get reflected on the daily as well. But there can be some scenarios like that जहाँ पे abnormally high volume हुआ रहेगा for some
Right.
reason,
Right.
right? So that will get caught when you go on a lower time frame and see. But
Okay.
I'll just put this question: how to know if the stock has seen long built up or short?
I can't remember it correctly, but I have noticed in I was seeing daily chart and the future where they are saying it's a long covering or short covering.
हाँ
So
नहीं,
there,
I remember I had discussed this. I think जब हम लोग वो last time when we were doing the rollover ना, I had
right?
discussed one specific example which was of page industry. So I'll show
Okay.
that as well.
Okay. ठीक.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we have got enough questions. I think it covers most of the thing that we want to discuss. So now let's get started. See, firstly, to come to the screen, so I'm assuming that you will be on the dashboard. So for that, you have to come to the futures data and you have to come to rollover. Okay. Now in rollover, there are three different screens that we have given. One is the daily rollover, one is the expiry, and one is the early positioning. Today we'll be speaking about early positioning, but to know what is daily rollover, so it's just that okay, daily how the rollover is happening. I mean, how people are going into the other contract and doing a rollover and so on. So honestly, this is of no use. This screen becomes more useful when we want to see when we are approaching towards the expiry week to see how the rollover is happening. In the start of the expiry, it is of no use, but we thought that why not give it a series only, so that's why we have put over here. But the greater importance of this screen comes when we approach towards the end of the expiry for us to know that how are people rolling over. So say for example, if the stock has gone down a lot and in the towards the end of the expiry, if you are seeing 90% rollover, 95% rollover, 85% rollover, that means people are rolling over their shorts. That is what the indication is. Okay. So as I mentioned, this you have to look at it from a end of the, I mean towards the end of the expiry. So this expiry, everything is based on the percentage. Okay, so I told you over here, right? You are getting a percentage over here. So now say for example, if we go to expiry, so Grasim is the one where 99% rollover has happened. Okay, and if you see the 3 and 6 months average, it is 99, and plus the stock had seen an up move of 6%. So that means people have carried forward their long position. That is what this will indicate. Okay, now I told you that sometimes rollover and all these things can be misleading when it comes to percentage terms. That's where I actually look at absolute terms mein what is the case. So say for example, if you I'm just giving an example, if 10 ka lot size is there and 100 people have carried forward their contracts. Okay, so 10 into 100 is 1000, so 1000 is nothing but your open interest. So this is the open interest basically. It tells you that how many people have rolled over their position to the new expiry. Okay, that is what it means. And of course, the people who might have formed the position prior, all those things get captured over here. So as you can see at the top, what it says is that open interest at the beginning of new expiry, which means now we are going to get into a November expiry. So at the start of November expiry, what is the open interest? That is what you will be able to see in this screen. Okay. And it sort of tells you what people are thinking about that stock, because if the stock is going down, and say for example, if the open interest was this, so let us take an example of IEX only over here. Now, what this indicates is that in the past, the October starting rollover was 4 crore 72 lakh shares, and now it is 7 crore 48 lakh shares. So now that is a jump of 58%, and then you're seeing a month on month price change of 6% as well, right? So that means people have carried forward their long position. So then, if you are interested to see in this stock, then you will further dig deeper into what is happening. So what I have done is that I have opened one more tab. Now, this is the good part of using the web-based thing. I can simply go over here and I can see IEX. What has happened over here? Now I can see that while the rollover was very strong, but in the last 2 3 days it has gone down, right? So over here I will have to always come down to a lower time frame and understand the picture what is happening, right? Because sometimes this rollover data could be misleading, and there will be couple of data points that might end up giving you a wrong picture. Now I'll give you one example. It was, I think I had discussed this last time. So it was basically Page Industries. I'll tell you what had happened. I think I had discussed this in August, maybe then, because, sorry, Page Industry. And over here, what was happening was that, so there was a big surge in open interest over here. Okay. And the prices were showing down or something like that. I mean, it was something like that. So when we go inside the rollover position and inside it, you will get a very different picture. So now see, page industries. So if you want to get the details of the stock, okay, details of the stock, you will have to go and click over here, right? And you will end up getting this data on the left hand side, where you get to know what is the long built up, short built up. So at the time when, so now you can see that 25th to uh yeah, so in this 1 month, in July month, there has been a huge surge in open interest, and price action was telling you that actually long built up has happened, something like that. Okay, so we'll just see over here what has happened. Now this is 25th of June. June is nothing but 6. Uh, Supriya, you can ask your question, but I'll take this as a last question and then wait, till the end. I mean, you all please wait till the end. Yeah, I've asked you to unmute, Supriya. You can.
Yeah,
Ask your question.
actually, I have not gone through any rollover videos. So I was just telling because you have already started and showing something in between the rollover. So I'm not able to understand. So let's formally start the class from the starting, and then everyone will be able to understand how to look up.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
thank you.
Noted. Fine. So let me strike PPT. Okay, so I'll briefly make you all understand, but please, if you'll have to understand in depth, you'll have to, check that webinar, because I can't spend that much of time, covering the same thing. This would be more of a, practical learning session that I want to keep it. But see, we all know this, right? When the prices move higher, open interest moves higher, it is a long built up, right? And that is a sign that people are bullish on that stock, and that is why this is happening, right? Then the other scenario is that prices rising higher, open interest going down, and that means that people are covering their short positions, and that is why we call it as a short covering rally, and that again is bullish. Now there's a third scenario where the prices go down and the open interest goes up. Okay. And that is a scenario of short built up, which is bearish for the stock. Okay. And the fourth scenario that we have is prices going down, open interest also going down, which means people are unwinding their long position. And that's why we call it as long unwinding. Okay. And that again is bearish. Now, in open interest, what I've observed is that there are 4 phases that happens, right? There is stage 1, this is stage 2, which is long unwinding. And now I'll explain you how to think about it. This is stage 3, which is short built up. And this is stage 4, which is short covering. Okay. Now you think of it this way. Okay. When the prices are rising higher, okay, people would be interested in the stock, and that's where open interest will rise higher. Okay, but as you know, open interest is not like it can keep rising higher, because there are limited number of shares that are there available in the company to trade, right? So at some point of time, open interest will hit a ceiling. Okay, now many people ask this question, that what is that ceiling for a particular stock, and that we cannot get it. The reason being that when something comes in FNO ban, it is a combination of positions in futures and options. Okay, so sometimes it can happen that the positioning in the futures is very low, but the positioning in the options is very high, and that is why it has come in a ban, right? So, but in the next case, what may happen is that the stock might have a very high open interest in futures, but not in options, and that's why it has come in ban. So, in both the cases, what will happen is that the stock will come in ban. Okay, so imagine that the prices has risen higher very much, but in future there was very minimal open interest built up, and that's why you see the OI only till here. Okay, but in the next case, when the prices have risen higher a lot, this has also resulted in a very high open interest in futures. So in both the cases, they are coming into ban, but in one case, the positioning in the futures was very less. That's why, but the positioning in options was very high. That's why it came in ban. In the second scenario, the positioning in futures was very high and it was very less in options, and that's why it came in ban, right? So, the question that typically people do ask me is that, how to interpret that what is the highest level or the ceiling of open interest, and that is not possible due to the positioning that happens in futures and options. Okay. So this is something that you need to keep in mind, and that is the reason where it becomes very important to Gaurav, please don't do that. Okay, I have explained this. I have told this in the past also. Please don't do that. No, else I'll have to kick you.
Yes, guys, please maintain the decorum. Otherwise, it will be difficult for everyone attending the webinars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So as I mentioned, so that is why people would often ask that how high can the open interest go? It can go to any number because it all depends on the positioning of options and futures data. That's why. Okay. So keep this in mind, and that's why the main reliable factor over here will be the price action to understand where the reversal will happen. But as I was mentioning earlier, that so what happens is that now take a general case where the prices are rising higher. Of course, people will start building their position. Now, at some point of time, there will be so much of optimism due to which people might have formed. Almost everyone would have. Majority of the people would have formed this long position, due to which it will reach that maximum peak, maybe in the stock as well or in the open interest, whatever it is. So that will lead to some unwinding of the position, and when some unwinding of the long position happens, it will lead to the open interest going down. Okay. Now it can so happen that even in a minor pullback, a lot of open interest can go down because weak hands might be there and they would be cashing out their position. Okay. Now what happens is that, now we all know that in technicals what will happen is that certain technical level breaks, then people get bearish on the stock. So what will happen is that, say for example, if this was the swing low, okay, which it has broken, and say technically it has formed a head and shoulders pattern and is going down. So what will happen is that the prices will go down and the open interest will rise higher. So this will become the third stage, okay, of short built up, and this would mean that this is short built up. Now we all know that good companies will never go zero, right? And at some point of time they will become a bargain. So what will happen is that while the mood is very pessimism, while there is a lot of pessimism in the stock, people might be very what do we say, they might be shorting impulsively as well, because every day it is going down, so they will think that let me short and make money, and due to which there will be some impulse shorting as well. And at some point of time again the open interest will reach very high levels. And when it happens, okay, when such thing happen, again what will happen is that you will end up getting the fourth stage, which is short covering. Okay. And as the short covering happens, you will see the open interest going down. And again, once some technical level will be breached, say for example over here the trend line is broken, so then people will start thinking that now the bearish position is over, and now again people will start building long position, and that's where this cycle will complete. So as I mentioned to you, you will always end up seeing four stages. You will end up always seeing four stages: long built up, long unwinding, short built up, short covering. Okay. And this cycle will keep happening. Okay. This cycle will keep happening. Your job is to identify your job is to identify the stocks where they would be in short covering. So this is especially important for those guys who are concentrating only on cash stocks. Okay. all you have to try to do is that you have to find the stocks where the open interest is very high, and where there is a huge short built up that is happening. What happens is that so these things you will have to keep on your radar. Okay, and when you end up seeing reversal in these stocks, this will typically end up being a good medium term move. Okay, and I'll show you with examples how you can take benefit of that. So just give me some time, but all you have to try and understand is that try to find the stocks where the open interest is very high. Okay, and that has resulted into shorts. I mean that is because of the shorts that were there in the system, and due to which there was a very high rise in open interest. You have to try and identify those things. This will help you to understand where there are maximum shorts. Okay, once you do that, then you keep it on your radar and wait for the reversals to happen. Now reversals can be what I mean, it can be normal technicals if you use those channel breakouts and all those things. I personally use 20, 40 and RMI that we have discussed many times. So that is what I look for, the reversal, and once those reversal happens, it usually tends to be a good short to medium term up move. And as I told you, I'll show you that with the examples. Okay, so now open interest can be of I mean it can be high and it can be low. So what to interpret that is something that we need to understand. So say for example, when the open interest is high, there are two possibilities that can happen. One is the trend continuation or trend reversal. So how do we know that whether it is a trend continuation or trend reversal? So imagine that this is the stock price. Okay, and over here it has ended up forming a triangular pattern. Now over here the open interest can be something like this. Okay, now people know that probably this is forming a triangle, so every time it is rising higher, the open interest will keep rising higher, right? So now in this case, what is happening is that if I have this as a historical data of open interest, so over here also open interest is high, over here also open interest is high, and over here also open interest is very high, right? So now it does not mean that it will mean revert. So this is where as I told you, I mean open interest does not have a ceiling as such, because you have other variables for the open interest as well. I mean, or the stock to come in ban, which is FNO I mean, few options position and so on. So when your open interest is very high, it could be because of two reasons. One is either it can be a trend continuation, like you see over here, right? I mean, there was a triangular pattern, and once the pattern broke on the upside, the open interest further rose higher, resulting into trend continuation, right? Now there will be another scenario where what will happen is that the prices are going down and open interest is rising. So every time when there is a fall, open interest is rising. When there is a pullback, open interest is reducing. Again, rising, reducing, rising, reducing, rising, reducing. And that way you will have open interest rising higher. Okay. And this open interest is rising higher due to the shorts that are built up. Now this shorts will eventually get squeezed, and this will lead into a trend reversal. Okay, so that is where, I mean, of course, as I mentioned to you, it is not just in shorts, but even when the prices are rising higher and there are no technical patterns as such. Okay, but the open interest is also rising higher. So again, this is a case where a trend reversal can happen, which means the prices have risen higher. Open interest is also at a very high level. That means almost, that means that the sentiment is very bullish and most of the people are bullish, and that's why they have formed long position. Now, always, whichever direction the position is, the trend reversal happens, of course, in an opposite direction, right? So in this case, if the trend is up and if there is a trend reversal, so you will end up seeing long unwinding. Okay, and that will result into the prices going lower. Okay, so it can be either ways. So how to interpret uh, uh, high open interest is that you have to see what is happening in the stock and also what is happening in with that stocks chart and the open interest. And of course, I mean, we have to try more to find this. Okay, this anyways, you will be able to find it through other scanners also like RMI and so on, where the prices are just consolidating and again rising higher and so on. So these all things you will be able to see it over here, but trend reversal is something you will be able to see only through OI, and that will give you a lot more confidence also to trade, and I'll explain you how in just a while. Okay, so just hold on with that thought. Now what happens is that if open interest is very low, think of it this way, that people are not interested in this stock, so that's why the positioning is very light. Okay, so when the positioning is very light, that means people are neutral on that stock, and at some point of time the trend can pick up. Okay, so what we have to try and identify is that where is it that the open interest is very high. Okay, because over there can be two scenarios that is possible: trend continuation or trend reversal. And where is it that the open interest is very low? So if the open interest is very low, at some point of time the trend is going to pick up in that stock, and that is what we need to identify. Okay, so this is the broader gist of open interest that is there. And as I mentioned in those previous videos that I have made, that the webinar that we have done, I have tried to explain each of them in detail and over here with the example. Okay, but as I mentioned, these are all the examples that I've also explained over here as well, in this help section. So it does not make sense to be repetitive. This time it would be more good if we talk about the actual scenarios. Okay, so yes, this is the broader concept. Now with that thoughts, we'll try and discuss more about the stocks. Okay, so let's take each example. Okay, so trend continuation mein na, okay, so there was I think I actually don't remember a stock where trend continuation happened. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. So this happened in UPL, I think a year or two back. So what was happening was that this stock was falling. Okay, this stock was falling, and you can see over here that there was this pattern that was forming, and you can see that in the decline that started. Okay, over there the shorts had already started to build up, right? So over here eventually what happened was that there was this breakdown that happened. Okay, so earlier what was happening was that over here there was this rise in open interest, and if you don't have this, then this was again at relatively higher levels open interest only. Okay, you imagine that if this was the case. Okay, now you imagine if this was the open interest you had, and you would think that boss, the open interest is at a higher level, right? So over here, now as Jay told that either it can be a trend continuation or a trend reversal. So what ended up happening was that there was a breakdown, and after that you can see the open interest kept rising higher, right? See what happened when there were minor pullbacks, the open interest used to come down, and once again when the shorting started again, the open interest started rising higher. Okay, and it rose higher till this point, and after that you could see that there was a big short covering that rally that happened. Okay, so now this is what I'm talking about, that see, over here also the open interest was relatively very high, right? But you will have to start betting on those short covering stocks or something like that only when you have multiple things confirming, like a trend line breakout or an averages breakout or something like that. Now, if you see UPL in this phase, I remember very properly that it was not able to break the weekly averages. So let me show you. So you can see over here, right? It was not able to break even the 20-week average. And over here it broke, but the 40 did not break and it kept falling. It's after it started sustaining above this and taking support above this, the trend reversal started happening. So always, this is a process. I mean, it's not that you will end up getting a trend reversal when the prices are still below the averages. And every time a rise from the bottom, you don't know whether this will end up just becoming a bounce or it will be a trend reversal. So in such cases, you will only have to be patient. Okay, you might want to take some punt if the prices are very low and you think that a turnaround can happen, but you would not build a large position or 100% position of what you would have thought, right at the start. You will have to gradually build it. So over here also, a similar thing happened where initially this high open interest ended up being a trend continuation, but when the open interest went to an extreme level, okay, and now extreme level means if I show you over here and if I show you the 12-month, I mean this chart, okay, so you can see over here that this open interest was very, very high, and this spike I might be just a one-off, okay, or there might be some error in computing, but otherwise, this is how it was. Okay, so I was just wondering at this point of time that the open interest was very high, so can this reverse? But at that point of time, I think markets were also okay, but this stock was continuing to go down, and all I knew is that the open interest is rising higher. So at some point of time, the reversal may happen. So I frankly did not had those guts to short it. Maybe even if I would have shorted it, or if I want to short it, I would have just relied on daily or hourly signals, and that's about it. I wouldn't have been able to stay short for such a long time. That is because the open interest was very high. And just to give you a context, when the open interest is very high, the kind of short covering rally that you get is very strong, and you will be baffled. But the 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 up move that will start, that will sort of freeze you and make you numb if you are on the short side. So I mean, in the past, long back, I had such incidents, and that, I mean, because that was the baggage. So I was very clear that when the open interest is very high, I should not short it. Even if I short it, at the max, it should be for a very, very small period of time and with a very strict stop loss. If that's gone, that's gone. That's it. Okay. So this is the example that I try to give every time because it contains everything: long build up, short build up, everything it contains. So you see Sun Pharma, what had happened when the prices were falling over here. See, you think of this, okay? The prices were rising higher, the open interest was relatively low. So over here, the open interest rose higher for the first time. Okay. Now see what happened. If you had only this much data, right? What you would think that the open interest is very high, right? And over here, you can see that in this fall, again, this open interest is going down. Now, just to give you a context, over here, I mean, basically, Sun Pharma had acquired Ranbaxy. Ranbaxy was some Daiichi, that Japanese firm was holding stake. So they eventually sold into this, and that news was in public, and that's why there was a gap that was formed. And the importance of technicals, right? Now, this is what a classic case of trend continuation. That is because an important support level was broken with a gap. This resulted in a high spike in open interest. After that, if you see, the averages and all were not breached, and the stock kept going lower. Okay, so over here you saw this. Now at some point of time, in this fall again, the open interest started to rise higher. So I frankly was wondering that how high can the open interest go, and this was an eye opener for me, frankly, that every time you think that the open interest is very high and now a short covering rally should happen, that may not necessarily be the case, and you will need to be very patient for that, for a turnaround to happen. Now, of course, I know your next question will be how to identify a turnaround, and that is what we'll come to in a while. Okay. But as you can see over here, the prices were falling, and it went to the extent till this, right? 25th May, you can see over here there was a big this, and this time, to be very honest, I thought that a bigger reversal can happen. That is because this was more like a double bottom breakout. If you drew a channel also, it had broken over there. So a lot of things were suggesting that now the up move should happen, and now this is a major bottom that is done, and an up move can happen. But ultimately this COVID thing happened, and even in fact, to prior to COVID there were other issues that were there related to corporate governance and all those things. And see what ended up happening. There was further a decline, then a sideways correction, and again a decline. Okay, now as I told you that at some point of time it is inevitable that the trend reversal has to happen. The only thing is, this thing will do is that it will test your patience to the core. And you can see that, in fact, somewhere over here only I thought that maybe a lot of the correction is done, and from there also it halved. Okay, so that's where position sizing and doing all those things becomes important, and knowing all the risk is also important. uh, Now, as I told you, I mean, over here it was a double bottom. I had positions over here. I wrote this rally, but after that, when it started to go down, and it came below the breakdown point, I mean, that's where I started to get a bit nervous, and I had to book out. I think I had booked out over here, but then eventually it fell over here. So see, the problem what happens is that when you have seen this, uh, for n number of years, you feel that, array, this is a pathetic stock and it will never come back, right? But because I had studied this and I had seen these things happening again and again, I somewhere knew that things has to turn around. But so it was, I think, after COVID that once again, we ended up getting those reversals, especially that this multiple highs got broke on the upside. I again started doing stuff in this stock, and being on the long side. And eventually this major short covering rally played out, and you can see what had happened. So from a point where the open interest was extremely high, it came to a point where the open interest is now at an extreme low point. And if you go back now, you will realize that the open interest has normalized. So over here, each time now I would want to think that, because the open interest is very low, so every time when the open interest is picking up, what is happening? Whether people are building long or building short. So it comes to this point when the open interest is low, a trend might pick up, right? And you need to identify where the trend would be. Like you see over here, the open interest was very low. Then again in this up move, the open interest, I mean, long build up started happening. So you might want to go long over there. Okay. And when the reversals happen, you have to be also be careful of prices reversing as well. Because see what has happened over here, the open interest was very high, but at this high, the open interest was actually towards the again the lowest point. So then it would make me wonder whether people are cutting their positions or what at the top. I mean, those who had formed long positions, are they unwinding their position, and are they again going back to neutral? So that is what you will have to see the data and interpret. I mean, there is no other easy way. uh, but again, you can see over here, top happened. Again, when the decline started happening, there was a rise in open interest. So this means that this time now people are short. Okay. So now, as I told you, people don't trade for 2, 3, 4%. Correct. So stock over here declined from 1640 to almost 1380 or something like that. So that was a meaningful decline. And over there again, you saw that the open interest was at an extreme. And now these things are happening. Something very similar had happened in Bajaj Auto as well. Okay. So people were just forming long in Bajaj Auto, unwinding, long, unwinding, and so on. This is what seems to be happening in Bajaj Auto. Now you see over here that the open interest was very low. Correct? Now, what does open interest low mean? This, that a trend should pick up. Eventually over here a trend picked up. Okay. Now what was happening is that when it used to go sideways, open interest used to come down. Then again, when the spike started happening, open interest used to rise higher. And this every time used to happen, like you see over here. In this minor correction consolidation, the open interest went down. Again, the stock started rising higher, open interest rose higher. Again, when the pullback happened, open interest reduced, again pick up, again reduce, again pick up. Now you see again what happened over here. So this was a consolidation, right? Open interest was very low. And then when the consolidation broke out on the upside, again the open interest started rising higher. And because there were too many longs that were built over here, then after that, there was some unwinding and then a long built up and then a short built up. And then, they kept building short. Now, again, so what I noticed in Bajaj Auto was that mostly people are on the long side, and this is where the characteristics you get to know about the stock. Now you see each time what is happening. Open interest is low, low. In the up move, open interest rises higher. Then in this consolidation, open interest goes down. Again in up move, open interest rises higher. Now this consolidation happening, open interest is going down. So sometimes you will have to find out the stock and figure out what is happening in the stock and how the trend is, right? So different stocks will have different characteristics, and that is what you need to understand. Now, someone had asked this question, that at the high, do we also get to know whether people are unwinding their position or no? So see, what will happen is that when prices are at the higher level, okay, now see what is happening over here. Now, this is where our judgment will also come into play, okay, which means that you can see over here the prices are rising higher, open interest is rising higher, right? Now, in this consolidation, the open interest has gone down meaningfully. Okay. Now, does this going down of open interest means that people have lost interest in this and now they are not into the stock anymore? Or does this mean that the weak hands are out of the market, and now again if the trend picks up, will the open interest again picks up? Now, this honestly, even I don't have an answer for this. You will get this answer only when, say, this breakout happens and you start seeing an open interest also rising higher. If you see that trend, then yes, people are again back in this trend. Now I'll tell you why Eicher Motor came into the radar. So that is because when I was doing a scan yesterday about the prices that have been holding the moving averages and so on. In this case, Eicher Motor came into the radar. So then I was just checking what the open interest is. So over here, honestly, I would still think that this breakout will happen and the prices will rise higher, and you might again end up seeing that uptick over there, because so far auto index is looking very good and it is not giving a breakdown as such. But yes, this is how you interpret it. Now there was one more stock that came on my radar, was SBI Life. Over here, what do you see? See, so when the prices were falling, the open interest was extremely high, right? And now this entire rise has been on the back of short covering. And now actually what is happening is that you are able to see this stage. So what happened earlier, it was short built up that led to short covering. Now short covering has more or less played out. That is because you're seeing open interest towards the low. Now, actually, I think what is happening is that there is a long build-up that is happening. Now, I'll explain you why. Okay. Because you can see that there is some rise in the open interest that has started in SBI cap, right? And if you follow the chart and you check the chart, so this is the weekly chart, and this is the classic thing that we would require, right? That we have been discussing also for a long time. Up move, consolidation. In this consolidation, RMI goes back to the zero line and again a move on the upside, right? So now that the weekly buy might also come, so then, and there is a cup and handle pattern breakout as well. So then the expectation will be that the prices should rise higher. So which means that, and when I look at the open interest, Okay, when I look at the open interest, the open interest tells me that it is still very low and it has a lot of room to go on the upside, right? Because if we see this as a range, it has a lot of room to go on the upside. So can this happen that, this cup and handle pattern breakout is for real and we end up seeing a rise in up, I mean, we see an up move in SBI Life, and that also results in open interest rising higher. And this would be the phase of, so we will get into this phase then of course then this will happen, this will happen, this will happen, and again this will go in a circular motion. So this is how you have to try and identify what is happening in the stock. Now where does early positioning comes into play is now over here. Now you see, now as I told you, I mean, I have shown you some examples, right, where the open interest is very low and where the open interest is very high. But how will you practically come to know, right? You might need something to scan, right? So that's where this will come into play. There is this sorting that is available to you, which is you want to see where the OI is unwinding, where is it that the month on month prices have gone down a lot. I mean, these are all the things that you will be able to sort it out over here. So I usually first try and see where is it that the built up has happened significantly. So IEX is there that we saw. Even Cipla. Now you see over here. So what is happening is that 1 crore 30, 1 crore 30, 1 crore 36, 1 crore 14, and all those. I mean, so broadly, if you see over here, 120, 130 crore is what people are, is what is visible, correct? And over here, you can see that the prices have also risen higher. So this will make me curious what is happening in, Cipla. So here I'll pick the stock. Now over here, result have come and it has gone down, but see what has happened. Now over here, basically this was the price action, right? And this was over here. So somewhere over here is where the expiry happened, right? No, so the expiry was on 28th. Okay, it was 28th. So somewhere over here. Okay, and you could see that people have built long positions largely and they haven't even done anything of that. So now see, this is the case where you have to try and understand how to interpret the stock. Now looking at the data, what I can see is that there is a lot of long built up that has been seen in the stock. So for that to see, what I have to do is that I have to go to Cipla. Okay, wait, I'll check it in the other window. Cipla. I'll go inside the stock and I'll see where is it and around what prices people are mainly long. See, you can see over here that this was the point at which people were extremely long, right? It was 22% built up that is there. Okay. So for that, the price is 1644. So now where I'll see 1644, it is this candle, right? So now you can see that the max people have built position over here. Okay. And what you are seeing is that there is a sharp decline that has happened. Now, most likely what is going to happen is that people who have built long position over here, so they would have built in this hope, right? That there was this breakout that is happening and so on. But now when this breakdown has happened, and now when I'm looking at this stock, I will be very concerned because of two things. One is that the breakout has failed. That is never a good sign. Secondly, people who have built long positions, okay, they are trapped now because the prices are almost 10-15%, 10% lower or something like that. And people have not even covered their position. And now what will happen is that many technical levels starts breaking, right? So now you see this. This is the trend line where Cipla is trading at. If the stock breaks and starts sustaining below this, then the people who would be long will become very nervous and then they will start unwinding. And that might end up resulting into a meaningful correction as well. So, what I get to see from the stock is that people who have been long, they are stuck now over here. And and yes, see over here also, when the uh, expiry happened over here, correct? 28th. So at the end of expiry, this looks like a long built up, right? But when you dig the data deeper inside, you will understand that max of the people were long only over here. In fact, you can see that the next day there was a 7%. On this day there was a 7% short built up, again a 3% short built up, right? So now over here, basically there is a tug of war happening between the bulls and the bears, right? And right now bears have a very strong hand because the prices are not rising higher and it is at the support level. So the way to think about this is that now, people ask that how do I actually translate this into trades? Okay. Now, of course, given that it has gone down sharply, you might not want to short it right away. So what you would try to do is that, now this depends on whether you're a short-term trader or so. So what I would try to do is that wait patiently for the pullback to happen. If it finds resistance around the averages over here and RMI goes back above and then it starts going down, then I'll think that the next leg of down leg is starting, and a meaningful correction can happen, right? The other guys, as I mentioned, who were positional and so on, they might have to wait for the RMI to go back on the towards the zero line and then come back, and it might take a lot of time. So in such cases, I might switch to the hourly chart and try to find where is it that I can short it, right? So if the pullback happens and if this is the averages and it does not break above the averages, and we end up having this bearish crossover in RMI, then I would think that the next leg of decline is possible and probably a decline towards this point is possible, and that is how I would want to trade. But now understand one thing, that till the time these long positions are not getting covered, okay, this long position that we have seen some built up, that does not get covered, the trend will continue to be on the downside, provided if it breaks and sustains below this. So assuming that this is the case, now you might ask me that how long can this trend persist? So I would say I don't know. It would persist till the time the open interest does not come back towards the zero line, towards this previous low. So for that, will it decline till here, or will it decline till here, or will it go down further? I don't know. And that's where you have to monitor where the open interest is. Okay. So now say, for example, if something like this happens, right? Further decline, and then there is a pullback. And in this pullback on the hourly chart, it comes back towards the averages and so on. Okay. And then in this decline, when the long unwinding starts happening, and it comes over here, and say if we are over here, then this would be the point where I think that major decline is done. You just need to be on the back foot now, and now wait for the trend to pick up once again. Okay. If the trend doesn't pick up, this stock might end up becoming dead, so don't bother even looking at that, because if you see something like United Spirits. Okay, something like that only happened for quite some time. The stock was literally dead. So it was, see, over here. So the open interest was very, very low and the stock was dead as well. It was not doing anything. Eventually, there was some trend pickup that happened. But to be very honest, looking at the OI data, you wouldn't have picked up that the trend was very strong. The only thing that was very noticeable eventually was that when this decline started to happen, there was a significant surge in open interest. And now, if you see and if you go back, the open interest is meaningfully higher. Okay, the open interest is meaningfully higher. If so, over here there was this Vijay Mallya was there, and it was run by him, and there was a different case altogether. But after, so I was looking at it only after Diageo had taken over. It was, I think, 2014 or 16, something like that. And this is where you have a more normal data. So nothing stops it from doing like this also, frankly. Okay, where the open interest again goes higher and it reaches that peak. But from here, there has been a significant open interest pickup. And actually, why this stock looks a little more interesting also is because if you see the monthly chart, in the monthly chart, it had almost come back towards the so the RMI has almost come back towards the lower end over here. Okay. And in fact, I don't know, it was okay. Yeah. So it was monthly only. So maybe I thought that there is a possibility of a correction probably till here where it might end up forming a channel and then it might rise higher. But nevertheless, from this move only, it has almost come back towards the zero line, and there are a lot of short build-ups that are there. So it is possible that it can end up forming some sort of triangular pattern or something like that. But even to do that, if you get a 10, if you end up getting those 10% move also, so from here also to move towards this 1620, it is again a 10%, right? And there is a lot of short built up that has happened. And if you see, the prices have made a strong base over here and then it has come up. So it is fair to expect that probably the shorts which were built over here, maybe they will now get nervous of holding short position. That is because company has also posted good result, and overall now the sentiment is slightly bullish toward this stock. So it can happen that gradually the prices rises higher, and that can result to open interest also probably moving down. Okay, so that can be the thing that you can look out for. And then I've been talking about IT stocks where there has been a big short that has happened. So this is what you see over here. If you just zoom out, and you will realize that the shorts are at next level. I mean, I haven't seen such massive shorting position in Wipro ever. And this is where it is, see over here, you would think that this high open interest, what does it mean? Okay. Now it is over here, and we have seen a built up. Now, to be very honest, I would think that people are more bearish over here than at this low, because the open interest was over here, this, and now when it is at a higher low, the open interest is far more high, right? So, to be very honest, I would think that if there is a trend reversal that is possible, maybe I don't know if it is forming some kind of triangular pattern or something like that. But over here, if the trend reversal happens, this should be an interesting stock. Now, you will always notice that when you are in these kind of stocks, typically there are some points which needs to break higher. Okay, like say for example weekly. So you will notice that on the weekly it is not sustaining above the 40 week, right? So if you ask me that how do we determine when the reversal will happen, so I would tend to think that once Wipro starts and trading breaks and starts sustaining above 40 R, that's where the breakout can happen, and that can lead to a good move on the upside, and that can lead to all this major shorts which are there which can get covered. Now, just to help you people understand the importance of huge shorting, I will take you through few of the stocks. So this was Kotak Bank, when RBI had told him to ban and not to issue credit card, it was this. Open interest was high. It was at the extreme. Eventually, you ended up seeing a good 20% kind of up move. Okay. So all you have to try and spot is that where is it that the open interest is very high. Okay. And abnormally high, and this is what you will be able to see it in the rollover data as well. So when you see that the open interest is I mean the OI change is very high. So one, you can see that the example over here, one was IEX. Okay, So again, this will not give you an indication whether you have to go buy, you have to do a buy or sell. It will broadly give you that view. But as I told you, you will have to go to the daily chart and understand what the trend is and then take a call. But this will help you to screen the stocks. Okay. And it will at least help you to screen the stocks where the activity is extremely high. Okay. So say for example, now in this cases, so say cases like this Piramal Pharma, which are newly listed, I wouldn't even bother looking at them because over here these are too premature right now, right? Only if you have those 12, 24 months data, then you have something to work around. Otherwise, I mean, I may not be interested. Then you can see Oro Pharma, right? 1 crore 30, 1 crore 30, 1 crore 18. Now, what is it that is happening that, it is leading to such a big spike? Now, over here, it again says long built up. So I will go over here and see what is happening in the stock, right? Oro Pharma. So it actually shows me long built up over here. Now I have my doubts whether it is genuinely a long built up or what. So what I'll do is that I will go inside the stock. Okay. Oro Pharma. And I'll see what is happening with the open interest. And you can see that there is a suddenly a big surge in open interest that has happened, right? So what you would notice is that, see, this is what I was trying to tell you, that the open interest was very low at this high, okay? And the prices have been declining and the open interest has been rising higher, right? So is it that it is a long built up, it is a short built up? Now I'm actually very curious. So what has happened post say 3rd of October, because that is where we have seen the rise, right? So over here I'll go inside the stock and at least last 1 month I'll see what was happening. So it was somewhere over here we had seen some long built up. It was 1141. So it was somewhere, I think, yeah, somewhere over here, 1141. This is where the, people who built a bit of a long position. And in this decline, people have further added a bit of short position. So now this is a classic case where there is a tug of war between the bulls and the bears, right? Wait, let me just remove the drawing. Now, what you see over here is that, of course, people who have shorted over here, they are anyways in the money. But now over here, there's a bit of a tug of war that is going between the bulls and the bears. So in this case, what I'll try to do is that I'll try to see what is happening on the lower time frame. And if we see the setup, this more or less looks good, right? Prices are, taking support of the averages and rising higher. So in the daily chart, it looks a little promising. On the weekly chart, it is like, whether it breaks out or no, because if it doesn't, then it can again fall and it might end up, forming, say, some kind of triangular pattern. Or if it breaks and sustains above this high, so especially what I would like to see is that if Oro manages to break and sustain above this zone or no. If it breaks and does that, okay, then I would expect that it should rise higher. And there is anyway a lot of short built up that has happened in Oro, right? So it can end up, leading to a good short covering rally also at some point. So this is how the open interest will help you to pick the stocks. Now again, you can do the similar thing for the stocks where the open interest is very low. So say over here, so I'm not considering Tata Motor because the demerger and all has happened. But say for example, Dabur also, if you actually see, it is not low. But yes, there is a case that I am wondering that whether there is a short covering rally that is now starting to play, because you can see over here it was 1 crore 96 lakh shares. Now it has come down to 1 crore 83 lakh shares. So Dabur, I'll want to see what is happening on a lower time frame, right? Dabur futures. And here, see here I can see that open interest is at a very high level, right? Compared to its past. Now I have to try and identify what has happened. So over here, I can see that here the top happened. Over here, there was a surge in open interest. Okay. Now, main thing that I have to figure out is that what has happened in this case. So when was the low of Dabur? It was around 8th of August, right? And from there has been the sustained up move. In fact, I think, okay, there might be some longs which have got covered over here, but let us also check the data. 11th of August. August is 8. But I'm not sure why the data is only there till 7th over here. Let me just check. Yeah. So over here, 6th of August. So it is, so see, you can see over here, there is this 121% long built up, but again, it has resulted into next 2 days of shorting as well. So most of the activity has happened over here, right? This is what the data tell us. Now this is where 22nd of August. Where is 22nd of August? Okay, yeah. So somewhere over here, and after that, again, there is this spike in open interest that has happened. So over here, now you can see that this is mainly long built up, right? 8%, 10%, 2%. And that is why, because mainly these were longs over here. Okay. These have got wiped out, and due to which you are seeing majorly a long unwinding. And this recent, in fact, sorry, if I see over here, open interest is here. Then in this fall, there has been a little bit of increase in the open interest as well. So let me also check that period. So the thing is this only, that you will have to be a little more patient and understand what is happening in the stock. And for that, you'll have to look at the data, right? So that's where we end up. That's why we have given you the table on the left hand side. So 24th of September is this. So over here again, that we have started to see some built up over here. So anyways, now see what has happened. Basically, over here people were long. Now they have got screwed over here, right, in this decline. And now people have again started shorting over here. There was a minor short covering pullback that we saw, but now again, as the decline is starting, again the open interest is rising higher. So when I look at this data purely, what I would think is that the bears have the upper hand because they have been shorting over here. In fact, they had actually shorted over here, okay, mainly. And this was more or less, on a very low activity, but they have shorted over here. And in this pullback also, they did not get scared. And now when the decline is happening, it is again happening with a built up in the open interest. Okay. So that you can see it over here. Again, there is a built up in open interest. So then I would think that bears have the upper hand. And if this low breaks, then probably it can go down to these or these levels as well. Right. So this is how, I would interpret the data and try to, understand what is happening in the stock. And again, that's where I mentioned that early positioning is something which will help you to scan the stocks much more quickly, because over here you will be able to see what the trend is for the stock. Normally, so say for example, if Kotak Bank has normally a 4 crore open interest, okay, normally, and suddenly it becomes 10 or 1 crore, then the eyebrows should be raised as to what is happening in the stock. Why has there been such a drastic change in open interest? That is what you need to understand. But as I mentioned, the most rewarding are the ones where you end up catching where is it that there is a big short position that is there, and once those short position starts unwinding, that's where you will be able to see a good move, because you can see over here in ITC, the open interest was abnormally high. Okay, and every damn person was fed up with this stock. There were so many memes that were coming and so on. This open interest, if you analyze and if you dig deeper, it was mostly on the short side. So whenever the prices were falling, open interest was rising. Okay, again prices were falling, open interest was rising. So you would realize that despite making higher bottoms, people were so bearish on that and they were shorting it left, right, and center. Okay, and eventually it resulted in a blow away move, and stock literally doubled within few months. And all that happened while the Nifty index was relatively underperforming or even going down, but this stock was only rising higher. So that is the beauty of trying to catch the stocks where the open interest is very high. So this thing, if you go on strike and you notice, is visible in all the IT stocks and in most of the IT stocks, and the sentiment is very bearish towards that stock. So what I would tend to think, and this is what I am watching out for, even on an index level and on stock level, most of the stock are behaving the same, which is that on the index level, the 40 week is not breaking on the upside. Okay, and for now, this trend line also I had drawn it. So this is also acting as a support resistance. The moment this gets broken on the upside and Nifty IT starts sustaining above those averages, that's where I think a big move on the upside could play out. Now, what can be the reason? Frankly, even I don't know. But the shorts have piled up so much that I think that eventually the unwinding has to happen. Okay. So whether it does a consolidation over here, makes a triangle and then only breaks out, or it will break out right away. I mean, these are all things that I'm watching very closely, but this is what the anticipation will be. And it is not that I am biased or something like that, but this is based on the data that I have seen in the past as well. And it normally works out that way. So I'll show you in Infi, this has happened number of times. You will see over here. Okay, the open interest was very low. Sorry. So over here, if you see, the open interest was very low. It resulted in a short formation. Now, I mean, this is what baffled me last time also. And I thought, frankly, that furthermore short covering will happen because the prices were rising higher and the shorts were not getting covered only. Okay. Then eventually what ended up happening, and this was something very new for me as well, that one more leg of decline happened and the open interest surged higher. And now what you're seeing is that despite prices being relatively high, so at this low the open interest was much higher than what the open interest was at this low. So this sort of indicates that people are very nervous about this stock and they want to short it left, right, and center. So that's where I think over here, when the breakout happens and it starts sustaining above the weekly averages, that's where I would expect that a good amount of short covering can happen in Infi as well. Because like I told you, in all the IT stocks, you are seeing the same thing, that the 40 week is not breaking on the upside. I think once that breaks, that's where the real momentum can kick in on the upside. Okay. So I think these were, I mean, all the practical examples that I wanted to share. I am sure that you might have got some insights. Yeah, we can take up the questions now, because mostly I've tried to address all the theory part as well as the practical application of it, how to think about it. So we can now take up the questions. Okay. Rohit. Rohit, you can unmute and you can
Hi.
ask the
Hi.
question. Yeah.
Jay, I must tell you, this was the most enlightening session I had.
Thank
There is a myth which is not wrong also.
you.
That breakouts, if followed by the commitment from the OI, means futures,
Yeah.
can give you a big good breakout, but Today, for the first time, I am thinking other way around. Ki even a short covering can give you a fantastic breakout. You just have to study the data very well.
Exactly, exactly.
And the way you showed this, when you were showing ITC ka thing, it rallied
Yeah,
on short covering.
yeah.
I think if I'm not wrong, I think Loris maybe rally just because of short covering. It happened big time.
Yeah, yeah.
Long
I
back,
think
long back.
most of the yeah, yeah. I see most of the powerful rallies that happen now, it's because they get into this stage. So what happens is that firstly it leads to short covering,
Yeah,
which is anyways powerful. Okay.
yeah.
Then many technical levels break on the upside, and people realize that boss, now things are turning around, and they do long build up, and then this phase keeps happening till the
Right.
point it reaches an extreme.
And when you were mentioning that, I was thinking of IT and you talked about IT.
Yeah.
Because when you were explaining that, I wanted to go back and check what IT is doing now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
And you
IT,
explained.
IT, if you even know, I mean, we do all this regular 11 a.m. Those live streams. So
Right.
वहाँ पे I'm telling since quite some time, and IT में ना last एक दो महीने से there are huge short build-ups which have piled up. Now I'm just wondering that how will this unfold? I mean, I personally think that it should unfold on the upside. The only thing that is not happening right now is that price actions are not confirming that, which
Right.
means that weekly averages के ऊपर वो टिक ही नहीं रहे. I think once that starts happening, people will realize that boss technically things are turning around for this, and it will start looking up.
Okay,
So
correct me if I'm wrong
yeah,
in when I'm stating this. For example, there
hmm.
is a pattern in certain IT stock, okay?
Right,
And we have seen OIs right at the top right now in short build-up.
correct,
Okay. There is a breakout which happened in IT in some stock, okay? And
right,
here OI must have made a lower high,
correct.
lower, sorry,
It
what do
would
you
have
say?
gone down mainly
So
because
it must have taken out some low of the OI chart also.
okay,
Okay, so that time we can see कि हाँ कंफर्मेशन है कि यहाँ पे जो लो था वो भी ब्रेक करके नीचे गया OI का, और
hmm.
इधर ब्रेकआउट भी हो रहा है अपना,
Right, right,
विच
right,
प्राइस एक्शन इज कंफर्मिंग कि भाई ये हो
right,
गया, टेक्निकल्स अपने सब सही बोल रहे हैं, तो नाउ इट मे हैपन,
correct,
वी
correct.
कैन टेक दैट प्रोबेबिलिटी.
Yes, yes. And that's where you end up combining RMI also. I do that. So
राइट.
you get an even better
या
confirmation
या
कि ये कितना दूर जाएगा.
देन यू कैन मेजर योर
Yeah.
इंडिकेटर विच एवर वन इज यूजिंग.
Yes, yes.
या इट्स वेरी फैंटास्टिक है, मतलब आई एंजॉयड इट अ लॉट.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yes, Jay, you can just take a minute break, and I hope everyone is aware that we have a special discount that we have for all
Yeah.
the webinar attendees. So if you have signed up and Strike and you want to just go for the 25% webinar off, or if you want to extend your subscription, all you have to do is just scan this QR code, or I've also put it in the chat as well. You can just open the link and you can go ahead with this and it will be automatically extended. You'll be getting your 1 year plan based on this. And this is only for the people who are coming to webinars. On the website, this discount will not be applicable.
Yeah.
Okay. Before, yeah, we'll just give another 30 seconds to 1 minute for everyone to just go and do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So,
Yes.
yeah, you also can just get a breather. Yeah. But yes, the session, I felt a lot of people really found insights, and people were trying to look at how to look into cash market based on futures data is something new and eye-opening for a lot of people. And even in futures market, when you're understanding that, as Mr. Rohit also said.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So actually, there is a myth, okay, people see open interest only for futures and so on. I mean, it tells you a lot of story about what is happening in the stock. And I mean, I have tried to catch many stocks based on this only. So I can vouch
Okay.
that this works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not only that, so with this, they are not just only getting the futures data, they will be getting
Of
the whole of
course.
strike. So when
Yes,
you
yes.
start doing this, when you have one place, then definitely the value is something that only you can derive.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can just continue with your next. We have Mr. Avinash Gupta. Okay, I will also just put the link in the chat if anyone wants to do it, because you can go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Hi, sir.
Yeah. Hi.
You were saying that at some point of time that there are a limited number of shares that are are traded, right?
Hmm.
And we cannot assume what are those numbers,
Correct.
the ceiling of the thing. Can't
Correct.
MWPL come into picture?
No, because that is what I was saying. Na? That is a combination of options and futures, right? We are only
Okay,
seeing options. I mean, we are only seeing futures. So that's what
okay,
at the
okay.
start I was explaining that
Hmm. Due to the
MWPL may,
electricity issue,
yeah,
I was intermittent today.
yeah. So MWPL का जो 80%
Mm-hmm.
can be because open interest in options is very high but low in futures.
Okay,
The second scenario can be that the MWPL has hit 80 and it has come into ban. Okay. And
okay.
but in this case, the open interest is very high in futures.
Mm-hmm.
So that is why I mean you can't gauge it, frankly, and it becomes very subjective in the end of the day.
So this data is just for futures one.
Just for futures, you
Okay.
cannot plot it option. It is very spiky and it doesn't even give you any insights.
So sir, I had one example in my head. Could you please open up Hero Motocorp? So
Hmm.
the stock went down to around 3,800 levels.
Hmm.
And that is when I was using strike recently and RMI turned up.
Hmm.
But I didn't know about the Y indicator at that point of
Hmm.
time. So
Hmm.
how would I have interpreted this rally based on the Y indicator?
So one thing was that, see, over here now you will have to do a little bit of work, but there was this sideways consolidation and you could see a
Yes,
spike in open interest, right?
yes.
I am guessing that this spike would be because people might be trying to short because
Mm-hmm.
eventually the up move happened and there was a short covering that happened, right?
Exactly.
So it was mainly because shorts were built up and that resulted into that furious move on the upside. But as I told you, you might have to go inside the stock and try to find because you know how I tried to show you that there is a spike in open interest between this phase, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what is it that people are forming? I mean, whether it is long or short. Anyways,
Okay.
technically, though, you know that this is a breakout that has happened after an
Mm-hmm.
up move, and this is an inverse HNS as well, right? So that
Yes.
way it has to rise higher. That is what technically it is showing. If you
Mm-hmm.
get the confirmation that people had actually shorted over here, then nothing like it.
Okay.
Then it will increase my conviction even higher.
Mm-hmm. So at this point of time, the OI is very low, massively
Yeah,
low.
so now I have to be very careful and I have to see which way the trend picks up. So say that is it that this after this consolidation it is rising higher and open interest is rising higher, or is it that this range is breaking on the downside and the OI is picking up?
OI is picking up.
Yeah,
Okay.
if it is
Okay.
picking up, then it means that those people who were anyways long or those who were short, they have been cut out, and now people
Mm-hmm.
are neutral on this stock. And now, in whichever direction the price action happens and the OI starts building up, that's where the trend can pick up. So basically, we are in this kind of scenario right now. Open interest is low, so
Low.
trend can pick up.
Can pick up. Yes.
Now, which way the trend will pick up, that is what price action
Okay.
will tell you.
Okay. This thing is still you can say hitting a bullet with a bullet.
What would that mean?
Yeah, a bullet travels at a very high velocity. And if you
Right.
want to hit that, you have to aim at the bullet with an equally high speed.
Yeah. So see, frankly, now we have done a lot of thing also for you to scan. So I don't know how many people are aware of this, but we have also given a heat map also,
Okay.
right? So heat map may again you can do like a normal heat map, but this time it is a change in open interest. Are you
Okay.
getting it?
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So if you do 1 month, now 1 month may if I do the change in so let me not take 1 month, let me take 3 months because over here it can end up becoming expiry to expiry. Now over here, I can choose the categories also I want to see. Now I am more interested in stocks where the short build-up has happened because I want to see
Yes.
if there is any opportunity over there or no. Right? So over
Okay.
here, I can see that RBNL has seen 7% decline, but a 103% spike in last 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, the beauty of this is that you can also check for specific time frames. Now, say
Mm-hmm.
from year to year, or for example, now let me see if how I can scan it best. See, you could have also found out now from year to year. For example, let's see. I mean, even I have not experimented this, but say June 30th to
Mm-hmm.
June 30th September. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll see where is it that there were a lot of shorts. June 30th to September 30th. Okay, it was 361 PGL, KFIN, RBNL, Angel One. Now, Angel One, as you have seen, that there has been a big spike, right?
Yes, recently.
Yeah. So it was after this only,
Yes.
right? And you can see. So let's analyze what had happened in Angel One. Okay, and I'll see if Angel One may through this we would have been able to pick up or no.
And so this is also majorly, I think, because of the RBI, sorry, RBI, the BSE guys saying that they will not cancel the weekly expiries.
Yeah, but that anyways we don't care, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we want to see if there are data points that were there. So frankly,
Mhm.
through this data point, maybe I wouldn't have got much.
Because this was
Okay.
just listed in the FNO.
But
Okay.
the only thing that I can make out is that okay, between this phase, when the
Mm-hmm.
market was not doing that great, people
Mm-hmm.
were shorting this stock left, right, and center, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I'll go to the so see, this is what gets scanned very easily for you.
Mm-hmm.
You got it?
Uh,
The see over here, what had happened? People were long. After that, I mean, there would be some long shots, whatever. And see over here, basically from year to year, it was more of short build up,
yes.
right? And then there was a short covering rally that was followed.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what you will be able to get it through these scans.
Okay.
Are you getting it? So, in
Yes, sir.
fact, you can still find out now. Say, for example, if you expect the Nifty to still rise higher, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, now in this phase, the market has gone up, right?
Yes.
From 30th September. So, from 30th September, sorry. So, from 30th September, which was the lowest point. So, from there
Mm-hmm.
till date, what is the OI telling? And where is it that the stocks are seeing a lot of short built up, right? So
Mm.
see, this is Amber, Mannapuram,
Manappuram. Yes.
PFC, Supreme, Bandhan Bank, right? Now these are all the stocks where despite the market rising higher, they have not only just gone down, but also it has led to a huge rise in open interest.
Mm-hmm.
So then you have to try and find is there an opportunity over there or no?
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Got it?
Understood, sir.
So you can try and do those things now, or if you are bearish, right? Then you would
Mm-hmm.
want to see where is it that there is extreme long build up.
Long build up. Yes.
So that is how you can do. I
I
mean,
cannot go bearish because of the cash market scene.
yeah, correct. So I am telling that if an FNO trader is there who want to short, so
Mm-hmm.
they would want to do that, or you would want to see that which are the places where the short covering has already started.
Mm-hmm.
So say Blue Star, 41% OI is down. So I would
Mm.
want to see what is Blue Star doing.
It had some good results and it rallied like crazy. Some like
Uh,
2 days ago.
oh, acha. So yeah, so then I have to just find out. Now you said that the result was also good. So I have to
Mm-hmm.
just find out is there more scope of a short covering.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, now to be very honest, I wouldn't even give this weightage. That is because it is more or less a newly listed one in FN.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but you can see Maruti. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Maruti, So over here, you can see that there is a big downtick, and this was due to expiry also happening, right?
Okay.
So now I will wonder that is it that people are cashing out from Maruti
Mm-hmm.
because the prices are at a higher level, right?
Yes.
And the open interest is low.
Low. Yes.
So I would want to see what exactly now the trend will be. So say whether it will happen on the, it will break out on the upside or on the downside. And if you notice, this is happening mostly with the auto stocks. We saw it in Hero Moto,
Yes. 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 Yes.
Maruti. So is it that public are cashing out from autos in general?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what will make me curious.
So
And
like out here, we can use the price action based on RMI also to confirm
yeah,
like the
yeah.
trend is following.
Yeah. The only issue over here is that we have not been able to still figure out is that how to put RMI over here. So I would advise you to put two tabs.
Okay. Okay. And
Okay.
so like just one case study kind of a thing. If you could open up Adani Enterprise during the Hindenburg saga. Let's see the OI then. Like, had people already positioned themselves in the
No, but it had also
short?
gone in ban or something. So you can see over here that before this, people were already shorting this.
Yes, that's what I wanted to know, sir. Like,
Yeah.
the people were already positioned in there, it seems.
Yeah, but frankly, I would have thought that from here a turnaround might happen because the OI was at an extreme. Of
Extreme high.
course, actually now see, now when I'm seeing this looks high, but
Hmm.
not this.
Yes.
So eventually only I think that only happened that people further shorted.
Mm-hmm.
And still you can say that the shorts are not that out because open interest is still somewhere in the middle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. But yeah, I mean sometimes you have to dig deeper into the data because sometimes visually what you see over here and in the data it will be different.
Okay.
So you will need to spend some time and understand what is happening.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sir. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Thanks. Yeah, Palani Kumar, you can unmute.
Jay, just in that RMA scanner, can we use for scalping also?
So, frankly, so far we have done it only for 1 hour. I mean, we don't have it for lower time frame. We'll bring that.
Okay.
Maybe once you get those RMI scanners on 5 minutes, 15 minutes, and so on, it might help you to scalp.
Okay. So do you recommend any other indicator along with RMI to avoid
I
noise?
frankly use only that, and to be very honest, I don't have that lower time frame. I mean, I
Okay.
don't look at such lower time frames, so I don't have that expertise only to suggest you anything.
Okay. What about the 1 hour time frame? 1 hour time frame.
It works very well. I mean, I have been using it for quite some time. It works well.
So do you use like other indicator along with RMI or only RMI?
No, RMI moving average is Bollinger Band. So
Okay.
that is the reason why we have put this setup. I mean, there is a ready-made setup which is there, which
Okay.
is you will see in that Rohit setup. And in fact, even in the RMI scanner now, we have given that setup. So it is this only that I use.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Even if you go in RMI scanner now, we have given it ready-made only so that you can understand which one to pick. Now, say for example, if it's Arli, right? I'm doing new buy. So only Shriram Finance is coming. But oh, I have done it. Basket, I have kept this. But I can scan it this way. So this is what I have been explaining even in the 11 a.m. sessions as well. That you have to find a stock which is trading above the averages and you are getting a crossover because that means you are trying to buy the strong stocks. See, in all these cases, the issue is that they are all going below the averages and then turning around, right? So, now see, something like this is good. Why? Because up move has happened and a consolidation is happening, which is more or less around the averages.
So if it breaks both 20 and 40, we can go.
Yeah, and in fact, you're seeing this pattern as well, right? So this is like a low risk for me, right? This would be end up becoming a reversal level, and once it crosses about 2040, this can be the reversal point, and I can anticipate that since it is a triangle after an uptrend, right? So I would expect that and a breakout should happen on the upside. So that is how I'll try to search through RMI.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, see this one also. Up move, consolidation. This consolidation happening in above the averages, right? So such kind of setups looks interesting. Okay, so
Okay. Thank
yeah, Vishal, you can unmute and you can ask the question.
Yeah, hi Jay, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
Good, sir. Sir, I wanted to have, you can say a bias confirmation, or am I understanding the things correctly? With example, say with a combination of this rollover thing and with the RMI combination.
Right.
So if you see, if you check Can Bank, what I assume is the short covering. It is again, as you said, it is a short covering rally.
Okay.
And you also say after the short covering again the cycle of the, after short covering there's a long built up. And with the RMI setup, if you go with the monthly RMI, it also is a fresh crossover from the zero line. So starting a new cycle. So am I correct assuming?
Yeah, could be, because firstly, one thing that I can surely notice is that the open interest was very low over here, right? Then the decline happened and there was initial spike of open interest, right? And यहाँ पे there was some bit of long built up also. I don't know if it was also, now see there was this 2-3 days. But I think so. This is where, see, you will have to go and dig deeper into the data as well, as to whenever the spike was happening, what what was it due to? Was it due to long built up, short built up, and so on? But anyways, where, so whatever it is, if it is long built up, short built up, right now the prices are up. If it is long built up, then it would mean that people are still holding towards the long and they're confident. And if it is short built up, then I would expect that maybe the short covering rally has still not played out.
Jay, like if you see the open interest, it's going down while the price is going up. So that is what I meant.
So correct. So I am saying that there is a long built up that people have done over here. Correct. Assuming that these are all longs. Okay. And there is short built up which has been observed over here.
Yes, correct.
तो ये वाले तो इधर गए रहेंगे, right?
Okay.
ये वाले basically are probably covering, right? Now there is still open interest that is left, right? Which means long वाले तो अभी तक भी खड़े ही है ना, because either these people are squared off or these people are squared off in this, correct?
Correct.
Now that is what I'm trying to say, that you have to figure out.
But then if the open interest has gone down, so can I assume that वो जो long वाले वो भी तो निकल सकते while profit booking, like
करेक्ट, वो भी निकलेंगे, पर जगह तो है ना मेरे पास अभी भी इधर आने के लिए, फॉर मी टू बिकम न्यूट्रल.
ओके ओके.
बिकॉज अगर लॉन्ग वाले है एंड द अनवाइंडिंग इज स्टिल नॉट हैपनिंग, दैट मीन्स लॉन्ग वाले खड़े हैं ना.
करेक्ट.
Right. And even if I assume that short, if long guys have covered this, so short guys are still over there, na?
Right.
Right.
Can you also take the example of BHL and Hindalco, if you don't mind?
I'll try to take one because I need to address more queries as well.
I understand.
Yeah. So see over here also in BHEL, actually the open interest, wait, let me just also see. Now see over here, what do I observe? That the open interest is relatively very low, right? मतलब people इसमें interested ही नहीं है. So यहाँ पे there was a little bit of short built up that was there, which I mean over here, I would assume that whatever a bit people might have shorted, they might have not even covered it. right?
Correct. Yes, correct.
हाँ,
That is
तो
my assumption here.
yeah, correct. That is the assumption. And then you know what you actually do is that you just play with the trend also. तो अभी जब तक RMI में वो 2040 नहीं टूटेगा, especially 40 on the daily chart or on the hourly chart, whichever way it is following. So you would say that this uptrend can continue and it can have some legs on the upside still.
Nee, on the weekly RMI, it is
Hmm.
again, as I told you, it has given a crossover from the zero line and starting a new.
हाँ, तो इवन बेटर, तो अभी तो इसको बहुत लंबा जाना है.
I really follow this RMI cycle, so that is where I try and compare these readings with the open interest.
Yes, yes. It always works very well. I mean, especially when you understand what people are doing now, then it works very well. But as I told you, I mean, BHEL में तो open interest ही बहुत low है. तो इसमें तो
But
ऐसा
if you
इसमें
see this level in the previous top,
yeah,
previous two tops, which are
correct. Then there is a possibility that people will start figuring out that boss something has reversed over here.
yes, correct. And with the RMI
Ah,
cycle, fresh RMI cycle on the weekly,
yes,
so there is a lot of room here.
yes, exactly, exactly. So
And
yes, you are reading it correctly. I mean, that is how I read it.
there is one opposite thing. That is why I told you to take Hindalco. If that is the last one.
Hmm.
This I feel like looking at the open interest thing. I feel the room for upside has been over. Like maybe the a top near term top has been made.
हो सकता है because over here one thing is for sure that the open interest is high. Now only thing I have to figure it out is that in this case were there short positions that were there, क्योंकि अब तक भी मेरे को लॉन्ग में तो दिख रहा नहीं है शॉर्ट बिल्टअप. आई मीन लॉन्ग में तो मुझे बिल्टअप नहीं दिख रहा है, राइट? आई कैन सी OI rising from year till year, right? Majorly year. Correct. This was some big spike in OI.
Correct.
And then so this is what now
Again,
see
the price is in
now
consolidation and the open interest is rising.
so that means people can also short ना अगर वो down day है तो. So this
After
is
the
where
second two line you drew, the price is in consolidation more or less, but the open
हाँ
interest is continuously rising.
correct. So people might have expected कि ये गिर जाएगा ना because ये बहुत ऊपर गया है.
And post that the open interest is going down after the price has gone up. That is the
Yeah. So that is what I told you. That's where we will need to do those hard work of going inside the data and understanding कि ये rise क्यों आया है, from 22nd.
and again if you see go to the RMI cycle, I
हाँ.
mean on the monthly it has given a crossover again near the zero line. So again it is really contradictory.
No, not contradicting. That is what I'm trying to tell you, that you will have to observe what the data is telling you, right? कि अभी ये open interest बढ़ा है. Do you know whether this is long or short?
Of course, we can again assume we will
No,
not.
that is what I'm telling you. See, I am just seeing the chart right now, right? But we have given the data on the left hand side, na?
Okay.
So there, go and identify whether that is long or short. Now I can see that there is one short built up that has happened on 26th, which is this, which was 5%,
Okay.
right? Then followed by long built up. Okay. So if I figure out that this uptick in open interest was mainly because of long built up, then I would say that there is some cap to this rally now. But if I dig deeper and I find out that in this consolidation, if there is more short built up that has happened than long built up, then I would think that कि ये अपमूव चलते ही रहेगा जब तक ओपन इंटरेस्ट कम होके ये सब शॉर्ट्स कटेंगे नहीं तब तक.
Okay. Open interest पूरा bottom zone तक नहीं आएगा तब तक.
हाँ. So but for that I have to figure out what is this, whether this spike in open interest is due to long or short.
For that
And
we'll
that,
have to study the left hand side thing.
yes,
Okay.
yes,
That is
exactly.
where the confusion was.
No, no. So that is where you will have to dig deeper into this
Correct.
because right now and at the face of it, it looks like a long ही public ने ज़्यादा किया है because 3%, 5%, 3%, 2% ये सब long में ही हुआ है.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the guess would be that public long में ये open interest बढ़ा है, but that is what you have to figure it out. Now this is where if you figure out whether it is long or short, the perception will change totally depending on how people have positioned themselves.
A final small question. So
Hmm.
with the RMI cycle, if I follow the RMI cycle, I mean, what are the chances of it failing at the zero line crossover? On the
No, it can definitely
higher time
fail.
frame, with the weekly and monthly crossovers.
No, so when the stock is trending, there is very high probability of it failing. It's only when the stock gets into range bound mode or bearish mode, that's where it will fail.
Okay.
But
So
if
like,
it
I just wanted to ask with your experience since you've been following the RMI for years now.
yeah, so that is
And
what
you
I'm
have
saying.
been
Na,
seeing
when it is trending,
you
it will work very well. But when you start getting idea where the RMI signals are not working, that means either that stock is in sideways zone or it is in a bearish mode. So then you have to try and identify that is this really happening or what, because else the RMI will usually work, especially when the stock is trending either on the upside or on the downside.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Jay.
Yeah, thanks.
So much.
Yeah, Gyaneshwar, you can unmute and you can ask. Please keep it two per participant, then you can again come back. Yeah, Gyaneshwar, you can ask your question. I'm not able to hear you. You have unmuted, but
And even I am not able to hear, sir. What we can do is we can take up a question from Mr. Rohit and then we will circle back to Dhaneshwar.
yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Jay. My question was exactly I was about to ask about the Hindalco itself because I'm trading in this.
Okay. Yeah.
And while you guys were taking questions, I was going through the same question I had about this chart.
Right.
Ki
Yeah.
how
So
to how to figure it out. Ki,
yeah.
okay, OI is looking at the top.
Hmm.
All my technical signals are saying go long daily, weekly, monthly. All are saying go long.
Right. So
And
this is where this will help you. And then see if you figure out कि ये सब long positions है ना, then you will tighten your reversal levels and you will be lot more vigilant, right? But if you find it that this spike in open interest is due to shorts, right?
yeah,
Then it would mean that a short covering rally still needs to play out.
okay.
Yeah.
So we can also assume that there might be possibility of retesting of all-time high.
Correct. So supposingly, if these are all shorts,
Right.
I'm assuming, okay.
Right.
तो it can so happen कि वो एक routine correction आ सकता है, but it will again lead to prices rising higher.
Right. So OI might say कि okay, there might be possibility of retesting because this OI rise has been because of short buildup.
Correct.
There was a short buildup happening in between.
तो वो short buildup के वजह से OI rise हो रहा है, right? And then in the congestion, just give me a minute, I'm getting a call. Rohit, just give me 2 minutes. I'll be
Sure.
back, okay? Just 2 minutes. Something urgent came up.
Sure.
Hello. Yeah. Sorry.
I have
Sorry.
a question. When it was
Yeah.
consolidating,
Yeah.
before, yeah, we were saying we have to see in that consolidation, shorts were building up or longs were building up.
Correct. Correct.
My question is
Hmm.
that I was asking in the beginning also. Now the price is going up and long buildup is seen. And there might be a possibility, right? That the short buildups which have been made during the consolidation are
Hmm.
unwinding, but but people who are going long are more than unwinding.
Hmm.
That time we can't see short covering which has built up during the consolidation.
No. But long unwinding, how will you say? It's only when the prices come down that
Sorry,
time
sorry.
you.
My thing is, if
Yeah.
in that consolidation phase, let's assume short buildup also happened. Okay.
Correct.
Now when the price is going up, people are building long,
Right.
but that buildup is so strong that there
Hmm.
might be possibility कि people who have shorted
Hmm.
earlier, उनकी अनवाइंडिंग से कोई फर्क ही नहीं पड़ रहा, मैं शॉर्ट कवरिंग से फर्क ही नहीं पता चल रहा कि मतलब जो
हाँ
शॉर्ट
नहीं
कवरिंग.
so that's what अभी so that is exactly what I was trying to say कि now say for example this open interest rose higher in two phases, correct?
Yeah.
Just assumption, okay?
Yeah.
Over here this was due to long and say this was due to short,
Right.
okay? अभी ये prices ऊपर जाते जा रहा है and there is some unwinding that is seen over
Right.
here, okay? Now this unwinding can be from two guys, right? It
Right.
can either be from the one those who have built short over long over here,
Yeah.
or it can be from the guys who have built short over here.
Shorted. Yeah.
Correct?
Right.
In either ways, I know that it has to come down till here, na?
Got it. Got it. Got it.
That is the room that I have.
Oh, yeah.
So, jab tak I don't see any trend reversals,
Mm-hmm.
I would think that this is where I have the space on the downside till which
So, so what you're saying, if we can find out the opportunity where OIs are very low, वहां पे हम अपना खेल खेल सकते हैं.
एग्जैक्टली मतलब
वो
वहां पे
confidence.
ये है कि बड़ा मुंह आने का चांसेस है इधर.
चांसेस है, ज्यादा है.
या सो यू जस्ट नीड टू फाइंड एंड बी पेशेंट कि वहां पे मूवमेंट कब आता है.
Right, right. Got it, got it. So instead of, capturing top, we can see the reversal more closely.
Yes.
Got it. Thank you.
Yes. Welcome. Yeah.
I have
Sai.
one more thing, one more
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, please, it's a request to tell your technical team कि वो arrow वाले movement ले आए हैं keyboard से. If you have to move, from one row to another,
Yeah.
we have to click.
To be very honest, it will take time because there are a lot of things that are there on the plate. I mean, that we are already doing. So,
Scanning is happening fast, but going through them is becoming slow.
yeah. Okay. ठीक है, fine. I'll put across the point. We'll try to prioritize.
Sure, sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, Jay, I think we have only two more hands raised.
Sure.
Yes, also just wanted to remind everyone that yes, the webinar discount is there only until this webinar closes. So if you have not done it or if you're waiting for the right opportunity, this is the right time to go ahead and do it. Before we take up the final two questions, we will give you around 30 seconds to just complete it and the activation will be instant. Okay, we have Dhyaneshwar and Sai Kumar who have raised their hands and will be taking their questions.
Yeah, we can try Dhaneshwar if he is able to speak now.
Yeah. I've asked him to unmute, but
Okay, you also asked to unmute Sai Kumar as well. I mean, whoever does it first. Yeah,
Sai Kumar, are you there? Yeah.
Yeah. Can you
Yeah.
hear me?
Yeah. Loud and clear.
Yeah. You had just showed the short buildup in heat map. Can you just repeat the same thing so that I can just
Yeah. So in futures, you have to go to heat map.
in futures?
Yeah. Then you can choose your direction. I mean, whichever way you want. Now, say for example, I am trying to find that when the index had rallied, right, from 30th of September, okay, till current date. So give me the performance of the FNO stock. So that is what I'm trying to scan. Okay.
Okay.
So your 30th September till date.
Okay.
Right? I've done this. Now I have the categories over here, right? This is long built up. So these are the places where the prices have risen higher and the open interest has risen higher.
Okay.
Okay. This is the place where prices have gone down and the open interest has gone down, which means it is long unwinding.
Okay.
So you can choose whatever category you want to see. You can simply click it, or if you want to see, of course, all at once, you can also do that.
Okay.
So click everything and you will be able to see all the results.
Okay. Okay.
But you can do it anyway. I mean, you want to see every week, you just go on 1 week and see it. So
Okay.
here we have the timeline. You can sort it based on open interest or based on price action.
Okay.
So over here, Federal Bank has seen 23% rise in open interest. I mean, rise in price, but open interest has reduced 15%. So that way you can do all those scans.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah, last question we'll take it from Deepak.
अच्छा, मेरा एक सिंपल क्वेश्चन था कि आरएमआई में मेरे को इन्वेस्टिंग लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टिंग करना है मंथली में, तो आरएमआई स्कैनर जो अभी अपना है ना, तो एक जरा ओपन करो ना इसमें मंथली में न्यू बाय।
यस।
तो अभी अभी जो न्यू बाय में है, कोई भी एक जो अभी अभी मेरे को पोजीशन करना है, तो अभी नीचे से जीरो से नहीं आता है।
हाँ, तो बट वो अगर वो ग्रीन लाइन जीरो के उधर पहुंच गया, दैट इज गुड इनफ।
अच्छा, वहां तक जाना चाहिए।
But I would always recommend you, see, please understand when you're trying to deal with such cases. Okay, now if Adani Power is giving bullish crossover here, your reversal level is 86. Now you have to ask yourself, are you open for that big downside?
ओके।
Right? If the answer is no, then what you have to try and do is that, K, you have to try to find, because weekly maybe agar bullish crossover aata hai na, it goes on for many weeks. But of course, see, if you want to do it on monthly, that is fine. But if you feel that your reversal level is way too high, right, then what you might want to do is that you might want to buy some and then some on lower time frame में time करके।
ओके।
जैसे कि फॉर एग्जांपल ये लोअर टाइम फ्रेम पे सेल में है, राइट? तो ये सेल में है, तो ऐसा हो सकता है कि ये इधर या इधर तक आ सकता है, बराबर। फिर इधर से जब टर्न होना, तब बाकी और थोड़ा लेने का। बट
अच्छा,
ट्राई एंड अंडरस्टैंड योर रिस्क एपेटाइट एज वेल।
नहीं तो अभी एंट्री वीकली में करें, सपोज मंथली मंथली अपना न्यू बाय में है, लेकिन वी शुड ट्राई टू एंटर इन द वीकली।
नहीं, सो नाउ द क्वेश्चन कम्स टू व्हाट इज योर टाइम फ्रेम ऑफ होल्डिंग।
नहीं, वो तो मेरा मेरा टाइम 5 साल का है, सपोज मंथली।
हाँ, तो फिर आप मंथली में करो।
तो मंथली में एंट्री को भी आई हैव टू वेट फॉर द 20 मूविंग एवरेज और 40 के ऊपर जाना
नहीं, बट
चाहिए।
आप ऐसे ही ट्राई करोगे ना ढूंढने जो 2040 के ऊपर ही है।
अच्छा, अब दोज वर अबाउट 2040।
हाँ, मतलब ट्राई टू फाइंड दोज ओनली ना, देन योर लाइफ विल बिकम इजी। आई मीन यूर नाउ इन सच केसेस यू विल वांट टू बिल्ड योर पोजीशन धीरे धीरे। मतलब थोड़ा अभी बाय किया बिकॉज क्रॉस ओवर आ रहा है, फिर थोड़ा तब बाय करोगे जब प्राइजेस के ऊपर है। बट ऑलवेज बी माइंडफुल ऑफ योर रिवर्सल लेवल्स फर्स्ट।
तो रिवर्सल लेवल कौन सा कैसे चेक करें?
नहीं, सो दैट यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड ना, कि मतलब आप अभी जैसे कि ये हायर टॉप हायर बॉटम अगर बन रहा है, तो ये लो नहीं टूटना चाहिए ना।
ओके,
एंड
so
ऑल्सो
this will be my stop loss.
हाँ, एंड सी देयर इज ऑल्सो वन थिंग दैट यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड। ये अभी ये लास्ट मंथ हो गया, ठीक है, इसलिए ये सिग्नल ठीक है। बट अभी सेकेंड को, सॉरी थर्ड को जब ट्रेडिंग होगा, तब नया सिग्नल आएगा मंथली में, करेक्ट?
अच्छा,
सो दैट विल बी फॉर नवंबर मंथ, तो वो नवंबर क्लोज तक वैलिड होना चाहिए।
ओके,
आर यू गेटिंग इट? तो
या
अभी देन यू माइट हैव दिस क्वेश्चन कि मैं इसको अभी लूं या मंथ एंड पे लूं। I mean, these are all judgment call that you need to take. If you feel that the markets are going to rise higher, then you might want to buy some or a bit more than 100, I mean 50%.
ओके।
Are you getting it? So these are all judgment call that you will need to take.
ओके ओके, तो मैं ज्यादा आरएमआई से ज्यादा डिसीजन लेता हूँ, खाली जो आपने रिवर्सल का पूछा दैट आई हैव टू टेक केयर फॉर द स्टॉप लॉस और अनवाइंडिंग नहीं
नहीं,
होता।
so that's where you will have to try and understand what works well for you to identify the reversal levels.
ओके
मतलब किसी का ऐसे रहता है कि निफ्टी घूम गया तो बेच दो सब कुछ, ओके। किसके लिए ये रहता है कि मैं स्टॉक के अंदर ही देखूं कि उसमें रिवर्सल हो रहा है कि नहीं। सो पीपल माइट हैव डिफरेंट व्यूज ऑन दैट, सो दैट इज हाउ।
उसमें वीकली और मंथली का कैसे कॉम्बिनेशन कर सकते हैं इसमें?
नहीं, इसमें वीकली मंथली तो क्या, वो तो आपको अगर बाय करना हो तो वीकली आएगा।
ओके, ओनली फॉर द
हाँ,
अदर
क्योंकि वरना आप मंथली पे ही बाय कर रहे हो तो वीकली पे कुछ कर ही नहीं सकते ना।
ओके
मतलब
ओके,
वीकली आपके लिए फिर इररिलेवेंट हुआ।
अच्छा,
या
थैंक यू सर।
या वेलकम। हाँ, so Rahul, we'll do one thing. We'll keep these as the last two questions, okay? Vikram and Dhyaneshwar, and then
Yeah.
I mean, if people raise, then we'll have to call it off because it's
Yeah.
almost 2.5 hours now.
Yeah, Vikram had initially had dropped a message, so yes, he had some questions, so he'll be able to ask.
Okay.
I'm asking him to unmute.
Yeah.
Vikram ji?
Yeah, hi Jay,
Hi. Hi.
from the side. Obviously, we are using the futures data, but what about the options data? Because that will tell us, where at a
So
price.
options data, frankly, I don't feel that they are all I mean, they give you positional ideas. So futures give you positional ideas. Options, of course, you can use it to time your entry more accurately.
Because that tells us, right? Like, for example, if there's a large call buildup at a particular price and then there is shedding at that price, you know that there is momentum building at that.
Yeah, but that will persist only for 2-3 days, right?
Okay.
Those trades. So
Right.
these are more medium term kind of views that ends up happening.
By medium, you mean like for the next month or like for the next
It can happen for weeks and months altogether. ITC, based on the short covering, it rallied almost for 1 year.
Right. Oh, for 1 year,
So,
is it? On short covering?
yeah. So if you see over here,
So is that because of like a recency bias that is there, that people think that at every price I will short and then
yeah, because the whole idea over there was कि ITC चलता ही नहीं था ना,
right,
तो
right,
it's like market नीचे जा रहा है तो पहले उसको ही short मारो, मतलब
right,
that is how the thought process might have been. So you
right,
can see over here, right? This is where the unwinding started to happen, which was around this point,
right,
and you can see it rallied all the way almost for 1.5 years.
right. So at every instant people have tried to short and then that has not worked.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's, I mean, the similar thing, I mean, obviously you discuss Canara Bank, but the similar thing seems to be happening in PSU banks right now.
Yeah. So see, sometimes what happens is that there are some preconceived notion, right?
Right,
कि अरे
right,
ये कितना और चलेगा, कभी तो गिरेगा.
right,
Right. So they will be shorted only to realize that it is rising higher. So it will further fuel the rally.
right. I think those that similar thing seems to be happening in oil and gas and PSU banks right now.
Yeah.
Broader
I
market.
mean, yeah, I have seen this happening also in Hind Petro. So in Petro,
Right,
में there was a tug of war. Okay, मतलब लोग long भी build कर रहे हैं, short भी build कर रहे हैं. Okay, and then when the breakout happened, all those guys who shorted, they ended up covering, and that resulted into a good 60-70% move in 4 to 5 months.
right, right, right.
So yeah. So futures only helps you to understand the positional view. Options will help you to understand कि next 2-3 दिन में क्या करेगा. So that is the difference I have felt between the two.
Okay, right. Okay. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Thank you.
Welcome. Dhyaneshwar?
We only have Dhyaneshwar next.
Hello. Am I audible now?
Yeah, now you're
finally
audible.
you're audible.
Perfect.
Yeah. Jay, I have a basic question. Like your OI indicator is representing only OI from options or from
Futures
also?
only. Futures only.
Futures only. Okay. Okay, fine. And can you help me to understand this future rollover in Nika?
Nika. Sorry. There is a rise in open interest. Let me see what is happening over here.
It is bullish on monthly, but getting weak on weekly basis. Maybe consolidating or what?
See, one thing is for sure, I think looking at whatever the broader data is, it seems like, people seems to be forming long when the prices are rising higher. So this spy, but see again, to be very honest, I will not read too much into it because इसमें बहुत ज़्यादा data नहीं है. Ideally you would need, just like for technical analysis, how you need 3, 4, 5 years of data, it will make it more reliable, right? That is how it is. ये सब में प्रॉब्लम क्या होता है कि स्टार्टिंग में लोगों का इंटरेस्ट नहीं रहेगा. ओके, नाउ इंटरेस्ट हैज कम, सो यू सी दिस इज व्हाट एग्जैक्टली हैपेंड इन सन फार्मा आल्सो ना. इन 2012 यू वुडंट हैव इमेजिन कि इतना ओपन इंटरेस्ट हाई हो सकता है. नाउ सी, नाउ आई गिव यू now you see over here. Okay, now imagine Nika is somewhere over here, right? Could you imagine that down the line this will happen, right? But ये सब क्या डेटा बनने के बाद you are more confident of reversal ideas, right? Same thing if you see in Hind Petro. Okay. All I'm trying to say is that when the prices are newly listed, at least, I wouldn't read too much into those things. Okay, like you see over here, right? यहाँ पर से एक extreme पता चला, तब जाके you can catch the other extreme, correct? But while it is building up, you might always think it is at an extreme, but it will keep rising higher. So that is the problem with these stocks. So that's why, I try to look at this more in the cases where we have long enough data, where, we can make sense out of that.
Okay. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think so. That's it from question Q&A session. Yeah, Ajay, anything you want to add in the end before everyone leaves?
No, I think that's about it. Mainly, I tried to cover all the cases possible, but of course, see, we are in this learning process, and you all can join us at 11 a.m. also regularly. So we are doing that 11 a.m. shows. It's a live stream, so you can ask any questions, and I'll be able to help you out. So now that you have learned a bit about rollover, do get your hands on it, try experimenting it. If there are any questions, you can anyways ask me at 11 a.m. or we'll be conducting webinars. You all can ask us around that time as well. Okay, so once again, thanks a lot for joining, and let's catch up on Monday. There will be at 11 a.m. we'll be doing the live session of the market outlook.
Just to clarify, the live sessions during the weekdays will be live on YouTube, and on the weekends we will be having Zoom sessions where you can come for one-on-one. Either it will be Q&A or any particular topic that Jay will be covering.
Right.
Okay. Thank you everyone for joining. See you next webinar.